go check those guys out, see what they got. They've got multiple options, and their product is awesome.
Proudly made in the USA, champions across the country choose Weir's Machine and Ultra Force to take them to victory lane. Shop now at weirsmachine.com and ultraforcetech.com.
2021 is going to be a great year to rediscover family fun and American freedom. And there's no better place to find all American family entertainment than Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We are host to some of the nation's greatest grassroots motorsports, including late models, sprint cars, pro pulling, drag boats, and more. There's also amazing food and refreshments, attractions, distractions, and merchandise.
For more info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life. American racing started on dirt tracks with tough men in both winged and non-winged sprint cars proving their bravery and skill with every lap. That kind of racing still exists, and you can see it at the 11th annual ASCS War Jesse Hawk and Daniel McMillan Memorial. Grassroots racing at its finest. It all happens September 16th through the 18th, and it's only at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri.
For tickets and info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life.
CRS Suspension and Fabrication is your trusted source for premium dirt oval shocks. For dwarf cars to late models and everything in between. We also offer adjustable spoilers and adjustable shock mounts, upgrades, car setup services, and even professional tech support for your entire racing season. You either run CRS shocks or you get outran by them. Call us today, 254-933-CRS1.
Bring the family out to Devil's Bowl Speedway in Mesquite, Texas to watch 150 drivers race at the same time for $25,000. It's full of non-stop action, thrills, and spills. Adult tickets are just $15. Affordable family fun that your kids will love. Don't miss the 8th annual Lone Star 600, presented by FCA Motorsports. Get your tickets now at LoneStar600.com.
People need to come to this race because, one, I mean, you got 180 cars on the track all at the same time for 300 laps. What can't be fun to watch about that? There's action all over the track no matter where you look. It's not like a Saturday night race where you got your group right here, you're watching the whole time. No, there's something going on over the entire track at every single lap. I mean, it's a blast.
Don't miss the 8th annual Lone Star 600 presented by FCA Motorsports. Get your tickets now at LoneStar600.com.
Well, it's about a perfect cross between NASCAR and your weekly racing of dirt track. Dirt track, you get the speed, the dirt, cars pulling sliders, reversals, where NASCAR usually always get the longevity. So it's basically dirt's version of NASCAR. You get the best of both worlds.
Don't miss the 8th annual Lone Star 600 presented by FCA Motorsports. Get your tickets now at LoneStar600.com.
Yeah, we sell the throttle control bars. Yeah, I mean, they're the secret to victory lane. Does the throttle control bar work?
He takes the lead early in the race. He brings home the Southern Sport Mod main event win.
Speed secrets, a throttle control bar on a track like this, that's where it's at.
I mean, 1, 2, 3. Too many checks to count in here. I would say they work pretty good.
Race fans, it's the most beautiful sight in dirt modified racing. Old Glory flies 4 wide with the USMTS.
Down the front straightaway, Ryan Gustin, Derek Ramirez to the line in a photo finish.
Good evening and welcome to the RPM Speedway at Texas ahead of a 4-night swing here for the USMTS Modifieds, night number 2 here in Crandall, Texas for the Stars and Cars of the USMTS. Bryce Hall here on the Racing Dirt TV pre-race show along with co-promoter of the RPM Speedway, Kevin Rogers. First off, Kevin, before we get into tonight's festivities, let's talk about the past couple races over Labor Day weekend here at RPM Speedway. Of course, the Brian Mize and Ronnie Sigmund Memorial races. Just a great event this past weekend.
Yeah, they turned out really good. Had a lot of good cars here. Place had a lot of good fans, and so it was a good atmosphere to have a good weekend. And there was a lot of people. Terry and Casey Jordan with Able Truck and Trailer and Walker Warren and George Survey. They put up a lot of money for the modified guys, and Clyde Dunn ended up sweeping the weekend. I think he left with a $12,511. So not a bad 2-day swing for him. I was talking to him earlier, and I think he's going to be pretty good tonight. He figured something out over the weekend. He was pretty good all weekend, but had great cars from everywhere, and USRA supported that deal for us really well, did a lot for us. So we were very thankful to get that one in and looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, speaking about Clyde, you know, he looked great here all Labor Day weekend, swept all the paying events here at RPM Speedway. That's something I always like to talk about when we come to these racetracks that have competitors that can run with the USMTS guys. And I think of a driver that quietly had a good Sunday that's checked in here tonight, and Bobby Malkus. He's ran with the USMTS several times, so I think he could compete as well as some of the other local drivers.
Yeah, our local guys here on our Friday night program, they're pretty salty too, so we're pretty proud of that. And then, you know, the American Racer Modified Series, a lot of guys running that now, and that's the USMTS, you know. I mean, that's a good deal. So it's kind of cool to see when all these guys get together and see how that shakes out. So,
looking at the series, it's kind of been of a slugfest between Jake O'Neill and Derek Ramirez in terms of the points chase. Last night, you tuned in on Racing Dirt TV and watched the same incredible feature that all of us saw last night. 35 laps side by side for the lead, whether it was Jake Tim and Tanner Mullins early on or Tanner Mullins and Jake O'Neill late for the race. Obviously, Jake O'Neill went on to win that, but just what an incredible race to kick off this weekend last night at 81.
Well, I was kicked up in the recliner watching it from home, and it takes a lot to get you excited when you're at home, but you guys on the call had it going, but those guys sliding, and you never know who was going to lead it, and you didn't know who was going to win it till it was over, you know. And so it was a barn burner for sure, and it probably race of the year so far that I've seen. So I'm looking forward to see it, because I know that there's a little bit bumping and rubbing, so I'm kind of pulling. Hopefully they get side by side here some point tonight so we can see. But both class guys, you know, Jake and Tanner both racing hard, and track was good up there. John and them got a good program at 81, so I'm looking forward to tonight. If last night was an indication of tonight, we're going to be in for a good show.
Looking as well, Derek Ramirez seems to have this racetrack figured out. So this could be the night that he turns it around after, you know, getting tangled up in a heat race last night. Lost the points lead back. That Risco Industries points leader spoiler changed again. But this is a place that Derek could get back on track.
Yeah, he's been good here the last 3 or 4 times he's come, and I know he's won a few of them. And he's a good guy, and I kind of think he will rebound tonight. Just he's had some bad luck, you know, last few weeks, and but I think this will be a good place to get him back on track.
So once again, we're live here from the RPM Speedway on the Racing Dirt TV pre-race show. As those of you watching at home saw, Todd Staley's making his way up into the press box here tonight, getting set to go for tonight's USMTS race. And with that, we'll step aside, take a quick break here on the broadcast, be back with more here from RPM Speedway.
Really appreciate Greg. He's no friend of mine. Makes this old man see good. If you need any glasses, cool Oakley stuff like I wear, see Deathers Opticians.
Greg's been a long-time supporter for me for lots of years now, and he not only helps me, but he helps a lot of the racers and everything. So if you're looking for sunglasses, definitely should give him a call. He's very supportive of racing, and that's always good to have somebody that gives back to the sport like he does.
Welcome back to the Racing Dirt pre-race show here from RPM Speedway at Texas. Night number 2 of 4 for the USMTS Modifieds kicked off last night at the 81 Speedway. Jake O'Neill picked up his 8th win of the season last night at 81. In addition to the USMTS Modifieds, the 3 USRA Weekly Racing Series divisions in action here tonight. They had a great weekend over Labor Day as well. Excited to see those guys back in action with the tuners, the factory stocks, and the limited mods.
Yeah, they put on a great show all weekend long. Had good turnout in all 3 of those, and really some good racing. And I tell people that all the time. I'm probably biased because it is our place, but I think we got a tough weekly show. When guys show up here to race, they know the competition is going to be pretty tough. So it ought to be a good show tonight. I fear we might have a little hangover from a long weekend. It'll be a quick turnaround on Thursday with, you know, high school football. We got some ball games, and I think the Cowboys are playing tonight. So, but it's going to be a good show. I think it'll be run pretty quick, pretty smooth, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's a good one, and when you guys show up to town USMTS, it's always a good show for the fans. So we appreciate y'all coming down.
I mean, anytime you can get out in a midweek and enjoy some racing, it's a good thing, right? Like, we don't expect the same type of turnouts as you see for a Friday or Saturday night show, but nonetheless, I think the racing is going to be great here tonight. Let's kind of run through the field. We'll put you on the spot a little bit. Who are some of the modified drivers you're looking for tonight here in the USMTS race?
Well, I hadn't saw who all's here. Obviously, any of our local guys, that's who I want to pull for. Clyde, Malchus, some of them guys, but I'm going to go back to what we was talking about earlier. I think Derek Ramirez, I think he'll get back on track here. He seems to go good here. You know, the last time he was here, he'd come deep in the field and hard charge through there and come a few spots shorts, but I think another 5 laps he'd have done it. But we had some good racing this weekend, but if a local guy's not going to get it done, and that's what I'm hoping for, I think Derek's going to be pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, looking at this, when we opened the 2021 racing season, there was a lot of hype with the 10,000 win shows, the new qualifying format. Going to be interesting to see these guys get thrown right into the fire tonight. No hot laps for the modifieds, going straight to timing, and that's been a new dynamic that we've seen shake out throughout the year as well, and I think that's going to be interesting here tonight.
We're going to hot lap first. So we are going to hot lap first. Just got that from El Jefe up there in the booth. So they will hot lap. So all that stuff you said sounded really good, but we will hot lap before we time trial tonight. So, no, I think it'll be good, kind of get the racetrack a little bit ready for them. And this place races a little different than a lot of places. You know, Wichita last night was pretty wide and racy. This is a little bit smaller bull ring. And what they'll see at Arklatex and the Rev will be 2 different versions. So that's what's cool about USRA, USMTS racers I've seen in all divisions. They adapt well wherever they go. And so I think we're going to be in for a good one. But I'm going to stick to Derek Ramirez. I think that's who we'll see in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, I think he will certainly be a factor here tonight, Turner. If only Todd would have told us that when he got his shameless screen time walking right across the broadcast. That would have been nice to have gotten updated on the running order here tonight. But no, looking forward to a great program here tonight. Modified's going to hot lap, then time in. Going to be a quick Thursday night show. With that, we'll step aside, take another quick break here on Racing Dirt TV. Rolling in the racetrack right now, should be rolling into hot laps shortly here in Crandall, Texas.
Since 1999, Frigola Performance Systems has been helping to make the most complex performance plumbing jobs easier. With innovative plumbing solutions like our Real Street hose ends that work in pump gas and ethanol applications, to our expander and reducer hose ends and specialty adapters, no job is off limits. Family owned and manufactured in the United States, with 3 generations overseeing daily operations, quality control, and on-time delivery is assured. Browse our catalog or find the dealer nearest you at frigolaperformancesystems.com. Frigola Performance Systems, your performance plumbing partner.
Hi friends, Phil Nightingale, General Manager of Mel Hambelton Ford. With over 500 pre-owned vehicles in stock, there's never been a better time to buy. At Mel Hambelton Ford, you'll find cars, trucks, SUVs, all in one location. Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Kia, plenty of inventory to choose from, not just Fords. At Mel Hambelton Ford, you have our promise that every vehicle is inspected by a certified technician because we care. Let our experienced sales staff show you that buying a car can be easy. Come out and check us out in person or check us out online at mhford.com. Mel Hambelton Ford, experience the difference for yourself.
Hi, I'm Chris Davis. My wife Jan and I are co-owners of Midwest Sheet Metal here in Springfield, Missouri. We acquired the company from my father-in-law about 25 years ago. We're a 75-year-old company. We do just custom fabrication of stainless, aluminum, and carbon steel. And we do quite a bit with the national and local racers across the country. The unique thing about us is somebody comes to us with an idea that if they want fabricated, we can make this happen. We can fabricate anything, any one-off thing that you might want. I've gained the trust with the racers over the years that they know that I will fabricate it for them and nobody knows about it. Most all the products that we advertise, we keep in stock. I mean, I'm tired of this. We can order it for you. The main stuff that we advertise is in stock, ready to ship. We can usually ship anything in 1 to 2 days. That's a big deal with the racers, that we have it in stock, ready to ship.
Race fans, get ready to experience the action like never before with the free My Race Pass app. On race day, hit the Entries tab to see who's signed in for the night in every class. As the cars hit the track, hit the Lineups tab to see where everyone is starting. Follow along with the action live with live timing and scoring, and even follow your driver wherever he is running. Get into the action like never before with the My Race Pass app. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Hi everybody, Marshall Fagers here in the QA1 Precision Products booth at PRI. First up top here we have the first 2 1/4 inch diameter drive shaft designed for an open competition dirt super late model. These will hold up to 900 horsepower. We've been running them for a few years now with 0 failures. This is a little bit softer in torsion than your typical 3-inch diameter drive shaft. What that does is help keep the car hooked up coming out of the corner when the car's on the bars bouncing up and down. On a rough tacky track, it helps smooth out the RPM curve a little bit. It takes your high RPMs, your low RPMs, and just smooths out that transition a little bit. Helps keep the car hooked up. Down below here we have the 3.2 inch diameter extreme misalignment angle drive shaft. What we've done here is actually done a little bit of CNC work on the tube yoke to let the rear U-joint articulate further before it binds up. And what that does is lets you run a little bit more left rear drop before you run into pinion angle bind. To learn more, check us out online at QA1.net or find us on Facebook.
The RPM Speedway here as we get set for hot laps for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series, fueled by Casey's. So hot laps rolling out here for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series, fueled by Casey's. These cars will return to qualify a little bit later on as well. Drivers in Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number 1 out of the racetrack right now. You'll see Tyler Davis rolling down the front straightaway, the Hayesville, Kansas racer in the FOE Racing 65. Behind him, Terry Phillips out of Springfield, Missouri, the Andes Frozen Custard 75. Jason Hughes out of Salina, Oklahoma, the Murphy Oil Company. Number 12 over in turn number 2. Tyler Wolf out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, the Army Contractors 4W. JT Wasman in the field as well, the Pine Island, Minnesota racer in the Med City Collision 51W. There's Jason Good, Watertown, South Dakota, in the Gates Specialties number 85. Mark Smith out of Anthony, New Mexico. He's in the RVB Transport 2SS out of Anthony, New Mexico. And the Grain Handler 8C, that is Chris Clark out of Jackson, Wyoming. Your car's out here for hot lap session number 1. So again, first hot lap session of the night for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series, fueled by Casey's. Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number 1 out of the racetrack. 4 heat races tonight for the 34-car field of US MTS Modifieds. We'll have a few hot lap sessions for the support classes here this evening before we roll into modified group qualifying. So we will begin to wind these cars up here to get the racetrack rolled in before the competitors time in a little bit later on. But hot lap session number 1 out on the racetrack here for the USMTS Modifieds. So as the caution flag waves over hot lap session number 1, getting the word that the track officials will return to the racetrack and till the racing surface up to try to get it opened up a little bit more to pack it back in. As you can tell, still pretty greasy surface out there at the RPM Speedway here tonight. So we're going to till the racetrack here for a moment and repack, and then we'll be back into hot lap action here for the USMTS Modifieds. So on the Racing Dirt TV pay-per-view broadcast, going to step aside, take a quick break here. We'll be back here in a few moments from the RPM Speedway.
Hi everybody, Marshall Fagers here in the QA1 Precision Products booth at PRI. First, up top here we have the first 2 1/4 inch diameter drive shaft designed for an open competition dirt super late model. These will hold up to 900 horsepower. We've been running them for a few years now with 0 failures. This is a little bit softer in torsion than your typical 3-inch diameter drive shaft. What that does is help keep the car hooked up coming out of the corner when the car's on the bars, bouncing up and down. On a rough tacky track, it helps smooth out the RPM curve a little bit. It takes your high RPMs, your low RPMs, and just smooths out that transition a little bit. Helps keep the car hooked up. Down below here we have the 3.2-inch diameter extreme misalignment angle drive shaft. What we've done here is actually done a little bit of CNC work on the tube yoke to let the rear U-joint articulate further before it binds up. And what that does is lets you run a little bit more left rear drop before you run into pinion angle bind. To learn more, check us out online at QA1.net or find us on Facebook.
Weir's Machine has been innovating the Ultra Force load machines and developed the Ultra Force suspension software, which allow you to take your program to the next level. Shop now at ultraforcetech.com.
The USMTS Souvenir Trailer is your one-stop shop for all your USMTS souvenir needs. From jackets to hoodies to t-shirts to can koozies and so much more, the USMTS Souvenir Trailer has it all. The USMTS Souvenir Trailer can be found online at shopusmts.com. See a wide variety of merchandise and accessories to help you get prepared for race day. Ordering is very simple and will even ship right to your doorstep. Visit the USMTS Souvenir Trailer today and get ready for the local racetrack.
Zach Vanderbeek here, Dirt Modified Racer. Been using FK rod ends for about 10 years now. Maria and their crew have provided exceptional products for me racing competitively on the USMTS Tour. I choose to put the best parts on my race car, and obviously I choose to put FK rod ends on there. We've had 0 part failures. The durability and the product, you can tell, is second to none. FK rod ends provide strong and durable parts for us so we can stay on the racetrack in some of the worst conditions and keeps us finishing races. I highly recommend their product. If you're looking for a really high quality rod end, go check those guys out, see what they got. They've got multiple options, and their product is awesome.
Proudly made in the USA, champions across the country choose Weir's Machine and Ultra Force to take them to victory lane. Shop now at weirsmachine.com and ultraforcetech.com.
2021 is going to be a great year to rediscover family fun and American freedom. And there's no better place to find all American family entertainment than Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We are host to some of the nation's greatest grassroots motorsports, including late models, sprint cars, pro pulling, drag boats, and more. There's also amazing food and refreshments, attractions, distractions, and merchandise.
For more info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life. American racing started on dirt tracks with tough men in both winged and non-winged sprint cars proving their bravery and skill with every lap. That kind of racing still exists, and you can see it at the 11th annual ASCS War Jesse Hawk and Daniel McMillan Memorial. Grassroots racing at its finest. It all happens September 16th through the 18th, and it's only at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri.
For tickets and info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life.
CRS Suspension and Fabrication is your trusted source for premium dirt oval shocks. For dwarf cars to late models and everything in between. We also offer adjustable spoilers and adjustable shock mounts, upgrades, car setup services, and even professional tech support for your entire racing season. You either run CRS shocks or you get outran by them. Call us today, 254-933-CRS1.
Bring the family out to Devil's Bowl Speedway in Mesquite, Texas to watch 150 drivers race at the same time for $25,000. It's full of non-stop action, thrills, and spills. Adult tickets are just $15. Affordable family fun that your kids will love. Don't miss the 8th annual Lone Star 600, presented by FCA Motorsports. Get your tickets now at LoneStar600.com.
People need to come to this race because, one, I mean, you got 180 cars on the track all at the same time for 300 laps. What can't be fun to watch about that? There's action all over the track no matter where you look. It's not like a Saturday night race where you got your group right here, you're watching the whole time. No, there's something going on over the entire track at every single lap. I mean, it's a blast.
Don't miss the 8th annual Lone Star 600, presented by FCA Motorsports. Get your tickets now at LoneStar600.com.
Well, it's about a perfect cross between NASCAR and your weekly racing of dirt track. Dirt track, you get the speed, the dirt, cars pulling sliders, reversals, where NASCAR usually always get the longevity. So it's basically dirt's version of NASCAR. You get the best of both worlds.
Don't miss the 8th annual Lone Star 600 presented by FCA Motorsports. Get your tickets now at LoneStar600.com.
Yeah, we sell the throttle control bars. Yeah, I mean, they're the secret to victory lane. Does the throttle control bar work?
He takes the lead early in the race. He brings home the Southern Sport Mod main event win.
Speed secrets, a throttle control bar on a track like this, that's where it's at.
I mean, 1, 2, 3. Too many checks to count in here. I would say they work pretty good.
Really appreciate Greg. He's no friend of mine. Makes this old man see good. If you need any glasses, cool Oakley stuff like I wear, see Deather's Opticians.
Greg's been a long-time supporter for me for lots of years now, and he not only helps me, but he helps a lot of the racers and everything. So if you're looking for sunglasses, definitely should give him a call. He's very supportive of racing, and that's always good to have somebody that gives back to the sport like he does.
Since 1999, Frigola Performance Systems has been helping to make the most complex performance plumbing jobs easier. With innovative plumbing solutions like our Real Street hose ends that work in pump gas and ethanol applications, to our expander and reducer hose ends and specialty adapters, no job is off limits. Family owned and manufactured in the United States, with 3 generations overseeing daily operations, quality control, and on-time delivery is assured. Browse our catalog or find the dealer nearest you at frigolaperformancesystems.com. Frigola Performance Systems, your performance plumbing partner.
friends. Phil Nightingale, General Manager of Mel Hamilton Ford. With over 500 pre-owned vehicles in stock, there's never been a better time to buy. At Melham Ford, you'll find cars, trucks, SUVs, all in one location. Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Kia, plenty of inventory to choose from, not just Fords. At Melham Ford, you have our promise that every vehicle is inspected by a certified technician because we care. Let our experienced sales staff show you that buying a car can be easy. Come out and check us out in person or check us out online at mhford.com. Melham Ford, experience the difference for yourself.
Hi, I'm Chris Davis. My wife Jan and I are co-owners of Midwest Sheet Metal here in Springfield, Missouri. We acquired the company from my father-in-law about 25 years ago. We're a 75-year-old company. We do just custom fabrication of stainless, aluminum, and carbon steel. And we do quite a bit with the national and local racers across the country. The unique thing about us is somebody comes to us with an idea that if they want fabricated, we can make this happen. We can fabricate anything, any one-off thing that you might want. I've gained the trust with the racers over the years that they know that I will fabricate it for them and nobody knows about it. Most all the products that we advertise, we keep in stock. I mean, I'm tired of this. We can order it for you. The main stuff that we advertise is in stock, ready to ship. We can usually ship anything in 1 to 2 days. That's a big deal with the racers, that we have it in stock, ready to ship.
Race fans, get ready to experience the action like never before with the free My Race Pass app. On race day, hit the Entries tab to see who's signed in for the night in every class. As the cars hit the track, hit the Lineups tab to see where everyone is starting. Follow along with the action live with live timing and scoring, and even follow your driver wherever he's running. Get into the action like never before with the My Race Pass app. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Hi everybody, Marshall Fagers here in the QA1 Precision Products booth at PRI. First, up top here we have the first 2¼ inch diameter drive shaft designed for an open competition dirt super late model. These will hold up to 900 horsepower. We've been running them for a few years now with 0 failures. This is a little bit softer in torsion than your typical 3-inch diameter drive shaft. What that does is help keep the car hooked up coming out of the corner when the car's on the bars, bouncing up and down. On a rough tacky track, it helps smooth out the RPM curve a little bit. It takes your high RPMs, your low RPMs, and just smooths out that transition a little bit. It helps keep the car hooked up. Down below here we have the 3.2-inch diameter extreme misalignment angle drive shaft. What we've done here is actually done a little bit of CNC work on the tube yoke to let the rear U-joint articulate further before it binds up. And what that does is lets you run a little bit more left rear drop before you run into pinion angle bind. To learn more, check us out online at QA1.net or find us on Facebook.
Weir's Machine has been innovating the Ultra Force load machines and developed the Ultra Force suspension software, which allow you to take your program to the next level. Shop now at ultraforcetech.com.
So welcome back to the RPM Speedway, second set of hot laps for the USMTS Modifieds. Out on the racetrack, heat race number 3 being pulled down into the infield. A little extra wheel packing here to make sure the racetrack is rolled in. Then we'll have modified hot laps, support class hot laps, and then USMTS modified group qualifying. Heat race number 4 being called into the infield as well. Hot lapping by their respective qualifying groups and heat racing groups. Fast Shafts heat race number 2. The next set of drivers out on the racetrack to hot lap here this evening. Cameron, Wisconsin's Kurt Myers, the 1M, rolls down the front straightaway. Dylan Pike, local racer out of Waxahachie, Texas, in the 6-star. Rodney Sanders in a Happy Texas car 20 down the front straightaway. Brooks Strength out of Raymond, Mississippi, the 2021 King of America in the 444, rolling down into turn number 1. There's Nathan Smith out of Anthony, New Mexico in the 88. Zach Vanderbeek out of New Sharon, Iowa in the 33Z, rolling off at turn number 4. Woodward, Oklahoma's Derek Ramirez, the driver that sits second in the national point standings, 15 markers back from Jake O'Neill in that Boom Test Well Service 4R, rolling just past the flag stand. And the Gressel Racing 2G, that's Brandon Givens out of Wichita, Kansas. Your drivers hot lapping here in group number 2. Looks like Gregory Muirhead in this group as well, the Maybank, Texas racer in the 22X as we wind them up here for hot laps for drivers in Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. So one set of hot laps has been completed for the USMTS Modifieds, and they tilled the track and repacked it for this second set of hot laps. 2 more sessions will hot lap here for the USMTS Modifieds. So hot lap session number 2 coming under the checkered flag here. We'll get set for the third hot lap session of the evening for the USMTS Modifieds. Drivers in Edelbrock Heat Race number 3 will be next to roll out on the racetrack. 1 and 2 in last night's feature at the 81 Speedway will lead them out for hot laps here in session number 3. Last night's feature winner, Jake O'Neill, the Red Eye Radiator 0. And behind him, the Male Hamilton Ford 02 Tanner Mullins finished second last night to O'Neill in the 02. Behind him, Lucas Schott out of Chatfield, Minnesota. The Schott's Hardwood Floor 69. The 8C here this evening, that Southwestern General Contractors entry. That is Bobby Malkus now to Maypearl, Texas. El Paso, Texas racer Carlos Amata Jr. in this hot lap session as well. A Hacienda Mechanical 65X down the back straightaway just ahead of Denny Guyber of Frankston, Texas, and the Day Motorsports number 15. Lance Maury out of Imperial, California. That Maury Brothers Incorporated 19 SB rolls through turns 3 and 4. And Rockwall, Texas racer Clyde Dunn Jr. fresh off the $12,511 weekend here at the RPM Speedway brings his Smiley's Racing Products 88 XXX down the front straightaway. Final car on the track, Bart Taylor out of Sheridan, Wyoming, the Taco John Rock Heat Race number 3. So hot laps taking place here for Edelbrock Heat Race number 3. One more session hot lap here for the USMTS Modifieds. They will return for qualifying a little bit later on. Support class hot laps will be rolling out as well here in the next few moments. So, hot lap session number 3 now complete for the USMTS Modifieds final session. Set to roll out the racetrack. Colton Horner, the Houston, Texas racer, will bring him out in that Houston Specialty Products number 56. Just ahead of him, Jake Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, the Gallardo Construction J17. Jake Tim, the Herco Mind Over Metal 49 Junior, rolls through turns 1 and 2. Tim, last night's third place finisher at the 81 Speedway. Behind him, it'll be Fito Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, the Team GRC G17. Dustin Sorensen in this hot lap session as well, the Ford Metro Inc. number 19 out of Rochester, Minnesota. Fellow Minnesotan behind him out of Lakeshore, Minnesota, the Collins Brothers Towing of St. Cloud number 60. That is Dan Ebert. Chris Kratzer in the Wichita Tire and Alignment number 19R. He was the runner-up here last Sunday in the Ronnie Sigmund Memorial Race. He's the 19R. And Jason Ingalls at Ingalls Race Cars number 12, your final driver on track in this final hot lap session for the USMTS Modifieds, and we'll move into support class hot laps in the next few moments. 34 USMTS Modifieds checked in here to the RPM Speedway, 4 qualifying groups, 4 heat races tonight, a couple of real racing wheels B mains, and of course tonight's $5,000 to win. Summit Racing Equipment A main fueled by Casey's. Second of 4 nights. Tomorrow we'll trek over to the Land of 3 Wide Arclatech Speedway in Vivian, Louisiana. Then we'll wrap this swing up Saturday at the Revolution Park in Monroe, Louisiana. Inaugural visit to the Rev for the Stars and Cars of the USMTS, Race and Dirt, and Race on Texas. We'll have that covered all weekend long if you can't make it out to either of those racetracks the next couple of nights. Working on the final set of hot laps here for the USMTS Modifieds from RPM Speedway. So, final set of hot laps coming under the checkered flag here for the USMTS Modifieds. And these drivers will return a little bit later on to time in for their heat races. Fastest 4 qualifiers in each group will invert on the front 2 rows, so the quickest qualifier starts 4th in their respective heat races. From there, the passing points apply through the remainder of the night. Top 12 will lock directly into the A main. Top 8 will redraw for the CBISMA Graphics Pole Award. That is the format tonight for the USMTS Modifieds. Again, 4 heat races lined up according to group qualifying with a top 4 invert. Passing points with the top 12 going to the A main. Top 8 redrawing for the pole as we work through more hot laps here this evening. M&J Electric USRA tuners out on the RPM Speedway for their hot lap sessions here this evening. Another reminder to race fans in attendance here tonight at the RPM Speedway, be sure to swing out to the USMTS souvenir trailer. Check out all the great 2021 apparel as well as select driver apparel available at the USMTS souvenir trailer. Race Ranch also on hand here this evening, as they will be for the next couple of nights as well. So the fine folks from Race Ranch selling great apparel here at the RPM Speedway. And a few more hot lap sessions working on the M&J Electric USRA tuners here. We'll have the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited and Mods and Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks. They will run some hot lap sessions as well. Then we'll get into group qualifying for the USMTS Modifieds. No B mains tonight in the support divisions. A couple of B mains for the USMTS Modifieds. And 4 great features here tonight at the RPM Speedway at Texas. Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mods out on the racetrack for their hot lap session. Don't forget, race fans, join us tomorrow night at the Ark-La-Tex Speedway in Vivian, Louisiana. If you can't make the trek over to the land of 3 wide, you can tune in on Race and Dirt TV or Race on Texas. They will have all the action covered at the Ark-La-Tex Speedway tomorrow, as well as at the Rev on Saturday, the Revolution Park in Monroe, Louisiana, here as we crank up the USRA Limited Mods for their hot lap session. So check her down on the hot lap session here for the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod Division. Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks will roll out on the track next for their hot lap session. Then we'll jump into USMTS Modified qualifying here this evening. So one more hot lap session before we're into qualifying action here for the USMTS Modifieds. Looking at tonight's running order after qualifying, we'll have our opening ceremonies. USMTS Modifieds will have a quick turnaround into their heat races. Factory stock heats, limited mod heats, then the tuners. We'll have the 2 modified B mains return with the tuner A main. The Modifieds will run second tonight. Factory stocks third, and the final feature of the evening, tentatively the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Modified feature here as we work on hot lap sessions for the Byline Surveying USRA factory stocks. So, Simpson Performance Products, heat race number 1, getting set to roll out on the racetrack for their group qualifying effort here this evening. Before we get into that, we've got a special shout-out to someone tuned in on Racing Dirt TV today. Trenton Berry was pulled over in Yates Center, Kansas, and if anybody has ever ridden with Trenton Berry or driven behind him knows that the story can't be for speeding, and sure enough, it wasn't. The chief of police, Doug Smoot, pulled him over in Yates Center, Kansas. Happy to have Doug tuned in. He wanted a shout-out. That's why he stopped Trenton there in Yates Center, so we appreciate Doug for being a loyal Racing Dirt follower as well as all of his great work there in Yates Center, Kansas. So thanks to Doug Smoot for tuning in tonight. Modifieds, Mark Smith let him out. He is in the RVB Transport 2SS down the front straightaway. Just to his outside, the grain handler 8C. That is Jackson, Wyoming's Army Contractors 4W. There is Gregory Muirhead, the Muirhead Motorsports 22X. Fiberglass Specialties 85. Tyler Davis in this group as well, the FOE Racing 65 out of Hayesville, Kansas. Terry Phillips out of Springfield, Missouri. Helena, Oklahoma. In the West Siloam Pond, number 12, your drivers on track here in a group qualifying. So back under the green here in qualifying for Simpson Performance Products heat race number 1. And follow along on My Race Pass live timing and scoring to keep up with these drivers as they time in here at the RPM Speedway at Texas. 17.177 for Terry Phillips here on the opening lap as the remainder of the field begins to log their times. Chris Clark pretty quick there, 17.185. for Chris Clark in the 8C, 17.328 for Jason Hughes, 17.354 for Tyler Wolf. The quickest 4 there on lap number 1. Terry Phillips is going to improve that to a 17.090, but he'll drop to 3rd as Mark Smith goes quickest at 16.818. And Chris Clark improves his time to 17.071. Like we'll do a few additional qualifying laps there as times continue to click in, so unofficially your top four in that one. Mark Smith, quickest, 16.818 seconds, 16.818 for Mark Smith. Second quick, Tyler Wolf. Third quick, Terry Phillips. Fourth quick, Chris Clark. So unofficially, Chris Clark and Terry Phillips will line up on row number one of Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number one as Mark Smith registered the quick time at 16.818 seconds. So Smith, Wolf, Phillips, and Clark unofficially your top four qualifiers in group number one, as we'll get Fast Shafts group number two out onto the racetrack. So Fast Shafts Heat Race number two, next group to qualify. They will be led out on the racetrack by Kurt Myers. Myers out of Cameron, Wisconsin. The H&E Ready Mix number 1M. Behind him, the Casey's 33Z. That is Zach Vanderbeek out of New Sharon, Iowa. Driver behind him sits second in the national point standings. Woodward, Oklahoma's Derek Ramirez in the Boom Test Well Service 4R. There's the Gressel Racing 2G. That is Brandon Givens out of Wichita, Kansas. Rodney Sanders in this qualifying group as well out of Happy, Texas in the Wichita Tank Racing number 20. Nathan Smith at RVB Transport number 88. Smith out of Anthony, New Mexico, along with Denny Geiber. Geiber out of Frankston, Texas, the Day Motorsports 15. Dylan Pike as well, the 6-star racing out of Waxahachie, Texas, that Northside RV Resort number 6-star. And Brooks Strength out of Raymond, Mississippi, the Joel's Auto Sales 444. Your drivers on track for group qualifying in Fast Shafts Heat Race number two. So second heat on the track for their qualifying efforts here tonight at the RPM Speedway. Fastest four qualifiers invert on the front two rows. Everybody else is heads up behind them. Fifth quickest qualifier starts third row on the inside. Sixth quick, third row outside. So on and so forth here as we work through qualifying in Fast Shafts Heat Race number two. Rodney Sanders first on the clock, 17.321. More times begin to pop up there, 16.472 for Denny Geiber. He will go quickest on lap number one. Derek Ramirez second quick, 16.603. Nathan Smith and Zach Vanderbeek, your four quickest qualifiers. So unofficially, Denny Geiber is going to turn quick time in that group, 16.472 for Denny Geiber, 16.472. Derek Ramirez, 16.603. Brandon Givens, 16.797. And Nathan Smith, 16.815. Unofficially, Nathan Smith and Brandon Givens will be on row number one of Fast Shafts Heat Race number two as Denny Geiber turns in quick time of that group at 16.472 seconds. Third group out on the racetrack, Tanner Mullins out of Wichita, Kansas. The Mel Hambleton Ford 02 rolls just past the flag stand ahead of Carlos Amata Jr. Amata out of El Paso, Texas, the Hacienda Mechanical 65X. We'll have Chatfield, Minnesota's Lucas Schott. He is in the Schatz Hardwood Floor 69. There's the driver that swept the Brian Mize and Ronnie Sigmund Memorial races, winning over 12 grand here this past Saturday and Sunday. Clyde Dunn Jr. out of Rockwall, Texas, the Smiley's Racing Products 88 XXX. Behind him will be the Taco John's 369 of Bart Taylor out of Sheridan, Wyoming, and Lance Maury out of Imperial, California, the Maury Brothers Incorporated 19 SB. Your current national points leader in this group as well, the Red Eye Radiator Zero out of Tucson, Arizona. That is Jake O'Neill, also last night's feature winner, along with the 8C. Pearl, Texas, that Southwestern General Contractors entry, the final driver on the track for this third qualifying group, Heat Race here at the RPM Speedway for group qualifying. So group number 3 under the checkered flag. Final few cars going to cross here down the front straightaway. Clyde Dunn Jr. looks to be the quick qualifier in that group, and he is. Clyde Dunn Jr. turning in quick time of group number 3, 16.210. Bobby Malkus second quick, 16.502. Carlos Amata Jr. 16.510. And Lucas Schott at 16.536. So unofficially, Lucas Schott and Carlos Amata Jr. will line up on row number 1 as Clyde Dunn Jr. turns in quick time in group number 3, 16.210 seconds for a little freaky there in Edelbrock heat race number 3 group qualifying. Final group out on the racetrack, Dustin Sorensen of Rochester, Minnesota, car number 19. Down the front straightaway, but ahead of him down the back straightaway, the Herco Mind Over Metal 49. That is Jake Tim out of Winona, Minnesota. So Tim and Sorensen, first 2 drivers on the track, a pair of Minnesotans and another driver out of Minnesota, Lakeshore's Dan Ebert in the Collins Brothers towing of St. Cloud number 60. There's Jason Ingalls. Ingalls racing in that IRP race cars number 12 down the back straightaway. Jake Gallardo in this group as well. The Gallardo Construction J17 over on the back straightaway out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. And a Chris Kratzer. Kratzer out of Wichita, Kansas. The Wichita Tire Alignment 19R. Colton Horner out of Houston, Texas. At Houston Specialty Products 56. And Fito Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. The Team GRC G17. Your final 8 drivers out of the racetrack for group qualifying here this evening are representing MSD Heat Race number 4. So Colton Horner is going to break into the 15-second bracket here in group qualifying for Group 4. 15.873 seconds for Colton Horner. Jason Ingalls also into the 15-second bracket. 15.939 seconds for Ingalls. Ebert and Kratzer the fastest 4 there on lap number 1. We'll see if any drivers can improve their times here on the second qualifying lap. Looks like lap number 1 time is going to stand for the top 4. So Colton Horner quickest in that group. The 56 out of Houston, Texas turns in a 15.873 second lap. Jason Ingalls at 15.939. Dan Ebert 16.039 and Chris Kratzer at 16.406. So unofficially Chris Kratzer and Dan Ebert will be on row number 1 of MSD Heat Race number 4 as Colton Horner was quickest in that group at 15.873 seconds. So Horner, Ingalls, Ebert, and Kratzer, your top 4 qualifiers out of MSD Heat Race number 4. Again, that unofficially puts Kratzer and Ebert on row number 1. As that will do it for group qualifying for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series fueled by Casey's. So qualifying in the books, quick turnaround here for the Modifieds unless the running order has changed. The USMTS Modifieds will be first up in heat racing action here tonight, so the teams will go to quick work, make any possible adjustments they want to before the heat races, and then roll out with Simpson Performance Products heat race number 1, leading off the first of 4 heat races for the USMTS Modifieds. Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock, second in the running order for the heat races. Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mods, third. M&J Electric USRA Tuners. That will be the running order for heat racing action here tonight. Then we'll have a couple of Real Racing Wheels B mains for the USMTS Modifieds. And the Tuners will lead us off for A main action. The 40-lap 5,000 win A main for the USMTS Modifieds will run second tonight. Then the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks third, with the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mods being the final feature of the night here at the RPM Speedway. Again, appreciate all you great race fans for joining us here at the RPM Speedway, as well as everyone tuned in on Race and Dirt TV, as well as Race on Texas. Great live coverage all weekend long from both Race and Dirt and Race on Texas. Heading to Arclatech Speedway in Vivian, Louisiana tomorrow. The land of 3 wide will be the next site of action for the USMTS Modifieds on Friday. This swing will wrap up on Saturday, September 11th in Monroe, Louisiana at Revolution Park, the Rev. The inaugural appearance for the USMTS Modifieds at the Rev on Saturday. Should be a great show over there as well. Again, we invite you out, and if you can't make it live and in person, the next best thing is tuning in on Race and Dirt TV or Race on Texas this weekend. So again, USMTS Modifieds will be rolling out here shortly for their heat racing action. Before we get into that, we're going to ask that you please rise. Please remove your hats as Kevin Rogers will deliver tonight's invocation, followed by the playing of our national anthem.
Dear Heavenly Father, we appreciate this wonderful weather you've given us in Texas this time of year. We appreciate the opportunity to be out here tonight. Lord, we want to thank you for all of our men and women, past and present, that give us this freedom to be out here and do what we love doing. Just watch over everybody, the drivers, the crews, the fans, the partners, the staff, as we put on the show tonight, and hopefully everybody gets home safely. And Lord, just pray for all those that are sick at the moment, that have lost loved ones, that are battling illnesses. Just wrap your loving arms around them, and just pray for our country, pray for our leadership. Lord knows we need it. So with all things said, we appreciate everything you do for us. We appreciate the love you give us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
So thank you, race fans, once again, and welcome to the RPM Speedway of Texas headlined action tonight. The United States Modified Touring Series on their second of 4 races this weekend. Kicked it off last night at the 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas. Jake O'Neill picked up the win in a thriller over Tanner Mullins last night at the 81 Speedway. Then the series trekked 5.5 hours south here to Crandall, Texas overnight. We are set up for night number 2 of 4. Again, Arclatech Speedway, the place to be tomorrow night in Vivian, Louisiana. And then Saturday, the action moves to Revolution Park in Monroe, Louisiana. It's just the next handful of nights for the USMTS Modifieds. Remaining schedule can be seen on the My Race Pass app or on usmts.com. So be sure to check that out to see if you can make it to any future events as well here in the 2021 racing season for the USMTS Modifieds, or catch any of the coverage on Race and Dirt TV as well. Make a mention of the great marketing partners that have contributed to a great 2021 racing season for the USMTS Modifieds. New major point fund contributors for that $70,000 to win point fund include Army Contractors, Boom Test Well Service, Hacienda Mechanical, Mel Hambleton Ford Racing, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Racing Dirt TV, Rancho Milagro Racing, RHRSwag.com, and S&S Fishing and Rental. All the marketing partners that have put together the $70,000 to win point fund for the 2021 racing season for the USMTS Modifieds. Of course, heat race sponsors tonight, Simpson Performance Products and heat race number 1. Fast Shafts and heat race number 2. Fast Shafts also the sponsor of the USMTS Souvenir Trailer. Always appreciate Pat Fagan and the crew at Fast Shafts. Edelbrock, heat race number 3, and MSD, the presenting sponsor of heat race number 4. Real Racing Wheels, as always, the sponsor of our B mains. Of course, Summit Racing Equipment bringing you tonight's A main along with Casey's. Great marketing partners here at the RPM Speedway as well. RaceOnTexas.com, Buckmeyer Motorsports, Jeravet's Motorsports Shock Services, Camp Gladiator in Emory, M&J Electric, Everclear Auto Glass, Byline Surveying, Ken Parker Services, O'Reilly Auto Parts, the Parker Lee Project, 4 Wide Custom Trailers, Twisted Thread and Tees, Don's Auto Care, Larry Shaw Race Cars, Able Truck and Trailer, Big Gun Race Products, American Racer Tire, Ideal Truck Accessories, and Honeycut Sand and Gravel, all great marketing partners here as well for the RPM Speedway of Texas. As always, we encourage you to support those who support racing. Here as we get set to go in Simpson Performance Products heat race number 1. Chris Clark is going to lead us to the green here tonight in the opening heat race. Clark out of Jackson, Wyoming in the 8C. To Clark's outside on row number 1, it'll be Springfield, Missouri's Terry Phillips in the 75. Row 2 to the inside, Fayetteville, Arkansas's Tyler Wolf. The 4W will start third with Mark Smith to his outside. Smith in the 2SS out of Anthony, New Mexico. Row 3 to the inside, the 12 of Jason Hughes out of Salina, Oklahoma to Jason's outside. It'll be Jason Good. Good out of Watertown, South Dakota in the 85. Row 4 on the inside, Tyler Davis out of Hayesville, Kansas, the 65. Alongside Gregory Muirhead out of Maybank, Texas in the 22. And your final starter will be JT Wasman, the 51W out of Pine Island, Minnesota. Those will be your starters for Simpson Performance Products heat race number 1. So again, Chris Clark, Terry Phillips on row 1, Tyler Wolf, Mark Smith, row 2, Jason Hughes, Jason Good, row 3, Tyler Davis, Gregory Muirhead, row 4, and JT Wasman, row number 5. Wes Goodwin doing the flagman duties here this evening, the RPM Employee of the Month. I believe we've stretched that to Employee of the Month because when there are 3 races in September and you're Employee of the Night on all those, that's considered Employee of the Month. So happy to have Wes's help atop the flag stand here tonight. Here we go. He's ready to go. Furled up green flag in hand. Lights are out. The Hay Guy ready to drop the green flag on Simpson Performance Products heat race number 1. Clark, Phillips, bring him around to the start, and we're underway here at RPM Speedway. Chris Clark down the back straightaway, the early leader of Simpson Performance Products heat race number 1. He's going to skate up the track. Terry Phillips down to the inside, but we'll score lap number 1 to the 8C. Chris Clark going to lead the opening lap. Terry Phillips in tow. Tyler Wolf been in the 3rd place spot. Wolf moving forward here early on. Jason Hughes also getting racy with the 2SS of Mark Smith. Chris Clark with the lead out in front here on lap number 2. Terry Phillips follows the 8C to the low and middle grooves of the RPM Speedway. Tyler Wolf still back in the 3rd place spot. Mark Smith able to fend off Jason Hughes in the race for 3rd. Terry Phillips' door's going to open to the inside. He'll slide across the nose as Clark was sliding up the banking. Terry Phillips able to take the line away from Clark, and Tyler Wolf will try to follow suit down to the inside. Tyler Wolf going to race by Chris Clark into 2nd as well, so Chris Clark now back to 3rd here as we complete lap number 4. 4 in, 4 to go in Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number 1. TP now on top in the 75. Tyler Wolf working in the second place spot. Chris Clark in third. Mark Smith, Jason Hughes, that's the top 5. Jason Good, Tyler Davis, Gregory Muirhead. That's the remaining running order here with 3 to go. Terry Phillips out in front. The 75 was running at the front of the field last night at 81 Speedway. Suffered some left front damage in the 75 that ended his night early. And he's looking good here in Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number 1 here at the RPM Speedway. He's going to see the white flag wave this time off of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go. Phillips, Wolf, Clark, Smith, Hughes still the top 5. Good, Davis, and Muirhead. That's the running orders. We're ready to wrap up Heat Race number 1. Checkers to the air. Terry Phillips wins Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number 1. So checkered out on your opening heat race. Chris Clark rounds out the podium of that one. Second goes to Tyler Wolf, and your heat race winner is Springfield, Missouri, in the GRT by Phillips, Durham-powered Andy's Frozen Custard, Don Babb Motorsports, Kaiser Manufacturing, and Midwest Sheet Metal 75. Terry Phillips, your winner in Simpson Performance Products Heat Race number 1. Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2 next to roll out onto the RPM Speedway. Nathan Smith will lead us to the green flag. Smith out of Anthony, New Mexico in the 88. His outside will be Brandon Givens, the 2G out of Wichita, Kansas. Row 2 on the inside, Woodward, Oklahoma's Derek Ramirez. The 4R car will start third on the grid with Denny Geiber to his outside. Geiber out of Frankston, Texas in the 15. Row 3, it's Zach Vanderbeek on the inside, the 33Z out of New Sharon, Iowa. And his outside, Kurt Myers, the 1M out of Cameron, Wisconsin. Row 4 to the inside will be Rodney Sanders out of Happy, Texas. The 20 will start 7th with Dylan Pike to his outside, the 6 Star out of Waxahachie, Texas. Your final starter comes to you from Raymond, Mississippi. That's the 444 of Brooks Strength. So that will be your lineup in Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. So Field being instructed to double up around the RPM Speedway and pack the track in 2 wide formation before we get going here in Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. So drivers packing the top 2 grooves there around turns 3 and 4. Denny Geiber, the quickest qualifier here in Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. He starts second row to the outside. We'll get him plugged into line there down the front straightaway. So Nathan Smith, Brandon Givens on row number 1. Derek Ramirez, Denny Geiber on row 2. Zach Vanderbeek 4. And Brooks Strength at the tail of the field here for Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. By the flag stand this time. Drivers will make one more pass to the top 2 grooves there in turns 3 and 4. The distance for Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. So here we go. Smith and Givens going to set a hot pace to get us going here in Fast Shafts Heat Race number 2. Green flag comes out and we're underway. Oh, got some trouble at the back of the pack. Dylan Pike and Brooks Strength come together. And the caution flag will quickly come back out for the 6 Star and the 444. Be a complete restart. Pike and Strength already starting toward the back of the field. Not sure what caused those two to come together down in turn number 1, but nonetheless it will put us back under the caution. USMTS official Logan Staley looking over the 444 Brooks Strength down the back straightaway. Looks like everything on the up and up there on that MB Customs, and we'll get him tagged to the back of the pack for the restart. So Fast Shafts heat race number 2 ready to get back to it. Smith and Givens on row number 1. Ramirez, Geiber, row 2. Vanderbeek, Myers, row 3. Sanders and Pike with Strength at the back. Try number 2. We're back green. Brandon Givens going to quickly drop a spot there to the 4R of Derek Ramirez. Smith able to assume the lead on lap number 1. Nathan Smith will lead the opening circuit here at Fast Shafts heat race number 2. Derek Ramirez up into the second place spot. Givens, Geiber, and Myers file out to be the early top 5. Meanwhile, we're side by side for the lead off of turn number 4. Ramirez has found a lane to work with down on the inside of the 88 of Smith. Ramirez certainly knows his way around the RPM Speedway, has been victorious in USMTS action here in the past, and right now he's going after Nathan Smith in the 88. Those two will race side by side down the front straightaway, and Ramirez is going to grab the lead. Ramirez with a horrific night last night at the 81 Speedway after being involved in an early caution. Had to take a provisional to get into the A main and just kind of salvaged the night last night. But he is moving forward here in Fast Shafts heat race number 2 as he will jump out to a 1.215 second lead over Nathan Smith. Just like that, Ramirez over a second advantage now in the 4R. Brandon Givens still holds his own back in the third place spot over Denny Geiber. Kurt Myers back in the 5th place spot. Vanderbeek, Sanders, Pike. And that is the running order. Coming around with 2 laps to go, 6 in, 2 to go in Fast Shafts heat race number 2. So final lap of Fast Shafts heat race number 2. Derek Ramirez, once he jumped out the lead, he ran away with that one. 2.35 seconds last time around. He'll take the checkers and win Fast Shafts heat race number 2. So checkered out on Fast Shafts heat race number 2. Brandon Givens grabs 3rd in that one. 2nd goes to Nathan Smith. And your heat race winner out of Woodward, Oklahoma, and that Hughes Racing chassis, Cornet Lightning powered, Boom Test Well Service, Redbone Fishing and Rental Raw Truck Wash Coda Services, and Woodward Steel 4R. Derek Ramirez, your winner in Fast Shafts heat race number 2. Edelbrock heat race number 3 rolls out of the racetrack with Lucas Schott front row on the inside, the 69 out of Chatfield, Minnesota. To Shots outside will be Carlos Amata Jr. out of El Paso, Texas in the 65X. Row 2 to the inside, the 8C. That is Bobby Malkus now to Maypearl, Texas. Is outside will be Clyde Dunn Jr. out of Rockwall, Texas, the 88 XXX. 2-time winner here last weekend in the Brian Mize and Ronnie Sigmund Memorial races. He will start 2nd row on the outside. Jake O'Neill will start 5th. He's out of Tucson, Arizona, the 0, your current national points leader. 3rd row on the inside here in Edelbrock Heat 3 with Lance Murray to his outside from Imperial, California, the 19 SB. Row 4, the 02, that's Taylor Mullins out of Wichita, Kansas with Bart Taylor to his outside. Taylor in the 369 out of Sheridan, Wyoming. Those will be your 8 starters for Edelbrock Heat race number 3. Again, drivers packing the top couple lanes of the racetrack here before we get going in Edelbrock Heat 3. Caution lights will go down along the front straightaway this time. So lights will go out. Schott and Amata on row 1. Malkus and Dunn on row 2. O'Neill and Murray row 3. Mullins and Taylor. That's the field of Edelbrock Heat race number 3. Here we go. Schott and Amata on row number 1. They fire in turn number 4, and we're underway for Edelbrock Heat 3. Lucas Schott take the field around here on lap number 1. The 69 going to lead the opening circuit with Carlos Amata Jr. in tow. Clyde Dunn Jr. off that big weekend here last week, won over 12 grand in the 88 XXX. With the American Racer Modified Series, he's trying to move forward now as he works down the inside of Bobby Malkus, who joined Dunn on the podium here last Sunday. Dunn with not enough room to work with along the inside, though, and Malkus will fend him off in that race for third as they all chase Cool Hand Luke. Lucas Schott rolling out in front of your field, the 69. So Schott leads, Amata in second. Malkus, Dunn, and O'Neill, the top 5. Mullins, Mari, and Taylor. Rest of the running order in this one as we stretch out around the RPM Speedway. 4 in, 4 to go in Edelbrock Heat Race number 3. So far, Lucas Schott uncontested from the 65X of Carlos Amata Jr. Malkus still running in third, just ahead of Clyde Dunn Jr. Dunn now working down to the inside of the 8C in that race for the third place spot. So Dunn trying to challenge Malkus here in the second half of Edelbrock Heat Race number 3 for third. Squeezes down to the inside of Malkus. Malkus will shut the lane off on entry, but he'll give him some room on exit turn number 4. Won't be enough, though. And Dunn will have to settle back into that fourth place spot here with 2 to go. White flag and a wave this time off of turn 4 to Lucas Schott with a 1 more lap to go here in Edelbrock Heat Race number 3. Schott, Amata, Malkus, Dunn, and O'Neill, the top 5 as we're ready to put a bow on Edelbrock Heat Race number 3. Checkers out, Cool Hand Luke will get it done here in Edelbrock Heat Race number 3. So your top 3 in that one, Bobby Malkus crosses in third. Second goes to Carlos Amata Jr. and your heat race winner out of Chatfield, Minnesota. It's an MB Customs race car with a Stone Racing engine under the hood, the Schott's hardwood floors, and Big Cat Transportation 69, Lucas Schott, your winner of Edelbrock Heat Race number 3. MSD Heat Race number 4, rolling out of the racetrack, the driver that was the runner-up here last Sunday in the Ronnie Sigmund Memorial Race. Chris Kratzer will be front row on the inside, the 19R to Wichita, Kansas. To Kratzer's outside, it's Dan Ebert. Ebert out of Lakeshore, Minnesota in the 60. Row 2 on the inside, Jason Ingalls, the 12I. He's out of Longview, Texas. And to Ingalls' outside will be Colton Horner. Horner out of Houston, Texas in the 56. Row 3 to the inside, it's Fito Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. The G17 will start 5th with Jake Tim to the outside. Tim out of Winona, Minnesota, the 49 Junior. Your final 2 starters, Rochester, Minnesota's Dustin Sorensen, the 19, alongside Jake Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, in the J17. So MSD Heat Race number 4 rolling in the top side of the racetrack, as you can see through turns 1 and 2. Chris Kratzer finished second last Sunday to Clyde Dunn Jr. right here at the RPM Speedway in the Ronnie Sigmund Memorial Race. Put on a show in that second place spot, working the extreme high line of the RPM Speedway. He'll start front row on the inside with series regular Dan Ebert to his outside. So it's Kratzer and Ebert on row number 1, Jason Ingalls and Colton Horner on row 2. Fito Gallardo and Jake Tim on row 3, and Dustin Sorensen and Jake Gallardo. Your 8 starters heat of the night. Here for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series, fueled by Casey's. Side by side for the top spot through the first set of contact there on the 60 for a moment of Dan Ebert. A little contact between the 19R and the 60. They'll settle down for a moment, but Kratzer's going to slide way up the banking, and Jason Ingalls will go scooting by the 19R. So Ingalls up into second by Kratzer. Kratzer trying to get the momentum up to his outside. Colton Horner following in that fourth place spot as Ebert gets sideways in front of your field. He'll gather the car in. Ingalls will stay out of the left rear of the 60. Stacked him up for a moment. Now Kratzer with a bit of a big run there to the back bumper of Ingalls. Had to get on the binders for a moment. Everybody able to keep it pretty well clean and green. Dan Ebert with the lead. Ingalls runs in second. Kratzer, Horner, and Gallardo. Vito Gallardo in fifth. Jake Gallardo in sixth. Jake Tim, Dustin Sorensen. That is the rest of the field as Dan Ebert leads out in front halfway through, coming around now to complete lap number 5. 5 and 3 to go. Ingalls now challenging down to the inside of Dan Ebert for the lead. Ingalls down to the inside of Ebert, now side by side for the top spot. Jason Ingalls trying to race on by with a 60. Those two locked in a good battle now for the top spot. Just 2 to go. Ebert able to lead the lap, but Ingalls right there ready to strike down into turns 1 and 2. Jason Ingalls back down to the inside of the 60 of Ebert. Ebert has the momentum to shake him off down the back straightaway. Ingalls will drive in deep into turns 3 and 4. White flag comes the air. 1 more lap to go. So Ingalls with one last lap to work with. Ebert leads down the back straightaway for the final time. Ingalls with one more look through turns 3 and 4, but it'll be Dan Ebert that wins MSD Heat Race number 4. Checkered out over MSD Heat Race number 4. Chris Kratzer edges Colton Horner in the race for third. Second goes to Jason Ingalls, and your Heat Race winner out of Lakeshore, Minnesota, in that lethal chassis, Collins Brothers Towing of St. Cloud, Country Pride Construction, Country Cat, Fox Amsoil, First Western Bank and Trust, and Speedworks number 60, Dan Ebert, your winner of MSD Heat Race number 4. So Dan Ebert claims the final heat race there for the USMTS Modifieds. So Dan Ebert picks up the win in the final heat there for the Modifieds. Next up will be the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks. Set the starting grid for their heat race here this evening. The 99J of John Armstrong will be front row on the inside. Armstrong out of Maybank, Texas, is outside from Italy, Texas. It'll be Michael Bowles in the 40. Row 2 on the inside, Christopher Watson out of Ennis, Texas, the 23W alongside fellow Ennis Texan James Ryle. He's in the 42. Your final starter out of Dallas will be the 1W of Walter Hamilton. That will be your lineup for tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock Heat Race here from the RPM Speedway. Don't forget, race fans, over the course of the evening, if you haven't yet, swing down to the USMTS Souvenir Trailer. Check out all the great 2021 apparel as well as select driver apparel at the Fast Shafts USMTS Souvenir Trailer. Race Ranch also on hand. Be sure to check out all the nice looking swag that Race Ranch has to offer as well. Get set to move through tonight's racing program. Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks next up for their heat race. Then we'll have the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mods. M&J Electric USRA Tuners will be the final heat of the evening before we have a pair of real racing wheels, B mains, the USMTS Modifieds. So, John Armstrong, Michael Bowles on row 1, Christopher Watson, James Ryle row 2, and Walter Hamilton be your lineup here for the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock Heat Race. The lights are out, ready to get to it this time in turn 4. So, Byline Surveying USRA factory stocks out for their heat race here tonight. Early on, Michael Bowles jumps out into a sizable lead. That 40 car rolling here at the start of heat race number 1 for the factory stocks. Armstrong and James Ryle, the early top 3. Walter Hamilton kind of mired back in that 4th place spot, as Christopher Watson will round out the running order of this one out in front. Michael Bowles going to hit his marks early on. Race for second going to take shape as Walter Hamilton works by both the 42 of Ryle and the 99J of Armstrong. So Walter Hamilton off the back of the field now into the runner-up spot. He's got a lot of ground to make up, though, about a full straightaway back from leader Michael Bowles. See if Hamilton can reel him in here in the second half of this Byline Surveying USRA factory stock heat race. Bowles looking good out in front. Hamilton in the number 2 spot. John Armstrong, James Ryle, and Christopher Watson. That is the running order here for the Byline Surveying USRA factory stocks. 2 to go this time by. White flag waves off of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go. Michael Bowles ready to wrap up your Byline Surveying USRA factory stock heat race here this evening. Walter Hamilton a distant second. Christopher Watson getting racy with John Armstrong. He's going to take the 3rd place spot here on the final lap, as Michael Bowles will pick up the heat race win. So Christopher Watson, after an early spin, finishes in the 3rd place spot. Second goes to Walter Hamilton, your heat race winner, as he rolls off of turn number 4. Driver of the 40, Michael Bowles out of Italy, Texas, your winner in the Byline Surveying USRA factory stock heat race. Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod set to roll out next. Kevin Simpson will be front row on the inside, the 561 out of Flint, Texas. To his outside from Dallas, it'll be the 2JT of Justin Vaughn. Row number 2 on the inside from Wolf City, Texas. That's Robert Vetter. He's in the V8 alongside Albert McCall Jr. from right here in Crandall in the 7M. Row number 3 to the inside, the 25C. That is Cody Smith out of Kaufman, Texas, alongside Walter Hamilton, the 07G. So Walter Hamilton will start 3rd row on the outside after running 2nd in that factory stock heat race. We'll get Walter put behind the wheel, the 07G. Row 4 on the inside from Lone Oak, Texas will be the 218 of Cody Blanton, and to his outside Stephen Ashcraft from Forney in the 56. Final 2 starters from Slayton, Texas, the 511. That's Corey Williams alongside John White in the 22J. White out of Red Oak, Texas. That will be your lineup in Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod heat racing action. Tuners up next for the heat races here tonight at the RPM Speedway. Then we'll have a couple of real racing wheels B mains for the USMTS Modifieds. So Kevin Simpson, Justin Vaughn, row 1, Robert Vetter and Albert McCall Jr. on row 2, Cody Smith and Walter Hamilton, row 3, Cody Blanton, Stephen Ashcraft, row 4, Corey Williams and John White on your final row here for the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mods. So here we go, the 561 of Kevin Simpson, the 2JT of Justin Vaughn, ready to bring us up to speed here for the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Modified Heat Race. Out comes the green and we're underway. trouble for Cody Blanton, the 218. Going to go around at the bottom of turn 3. Caution will come to the air. So caution out for the 218 of Cody Blanton. Trying to get the V8 of Robert Vetter down to the inside of row number 2. There he goes. Everybody else doubles up as well. Able to score that. So there we go. Now lights will go out. 561 of Kevin Simpson with a row to himself out in front. 1 lap scored in this 8-lap heat race here for the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mods. Vetter and Vaughn on row number 2. Set for the restart, this time in turn 4. Here we go, back underway. Simpson take the field back through turns 1 and 2. Justin Vaughn in that second place spot. He's under attack from the inside and out. Smith down to the inside, Vetter up top. Vaughn better get going as Vetter will roll to the outside of the 2JT. You got Smith knocking on the back door as well down the front straightaway. Good action for that second place spot through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Vetter up to the outside and Smith along the inside. Both right on the heels of the 2JT of Justin Vaughn. Vaughn's had his hands full, but he's kept them at bay so far. This time Smith has some room to work with down the inside. Cody Smith trying to snag the spot away from Justin Vaughn. That race for second is a good one, is out in front. Kevin Simpson is rolling. So Kevin Simpson rolling out in front, the Flint, Texas racer. Justin Vaughn in second, Cody Smith in third, Robert Vetter in the 4th place spot. Albert McCall Jr. right now rounding out your top 5 runners. Corey Williams off the back of the pack. He started 9th. He's creeping his way towards the top 5. He's side by side with McCall down the front straightaway. Williams a regular at the West Texas Raceway in Lubbock, Texas. Venturing over to the Dallas-Fort Worth area this weekend for some USRA national points. He tries to race his way into the top 5 here with a couple laps to go. So 2 laps to go. Kevin Simpson from the front row has not looked back since the drop of the green flag. You'll see the white flag wave this time off of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go. Simpson leads, Vaughn in second, Smith in third, Vetter 4th. Race for 5th, still a good one between McCall and Williams here as we work the final lap. Heat race win, going to go to the 561 of Kevin Simpson. Vaughn will cross in second, Smith in third, Vetter 4th, race for 5th. Albert McCall Jr. hangs on over Corey Williams. So your top 3 finishers, Cody Smith crosses in third. Second goes to Justin Vaughn, and your heat race winner to Flint, Texas. He rolls off of turn number 4. How about it for the 561 of Kevin Simpson, your winner for the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod Heat Race. So M&J Electric USRA tuners out on the racetrack now. Jet Hefty will be front row on the inside. The 11 out of Kemp, Texas. To Jet's outside, it's Daniel Thompson out of Mesquite, Texas in the 17T. Row 2 to the inside, David Thompson, the 33T, also out of Mesquite. Alongside Sean Lazier racing out of Mansfield, Texas in the 67L. That's how they'll line up here for the heat race. M&J Electric USRA tuners coming to green off of turn 4. So the 33T of David Thompson will exit the track with a right front flat. Meanwhile, race for the lead going to heat up out in front of this one. Jet Hefty had led since the drop of the green flag. You'll see a challenge, though, out of the 17T of Daniel Thompson. So Hefty and Thompson going to go at it for the lead off of turn number 4. Thompson, your new leader this time by. So Daniel Thompson to the lead. Jet Hefty back to second. Good two-car race out in front of your field. Sean Leisure rounds out the running order here for the M&J Electric USRA Tuners. White flag comes in the air off of turn number 4. One more lap to go for the 17T of Daniel Thompson. Checkered comes in the air off of turn 4. The 17T of Daniel Thompson will pick up the heat race win. Jet Hefty will cross in second. And Sean Leisure, that will be the finish of the M&J Electric USRA Tuners. So Daniel Thompson, the 17T, your heat race winner. Daniel Thompson picks up the heat race win. Gets set for the first of 2 Real Racing Wheels B mains for the USMTS Modifieds. 12 laps apiece, top 5 out of each transfer into tonight's A main. Real Racing Wheels B main number 1 beginning to line up pit side. The first handful of cars there. You can see them taking place outside of turn 4. So we will get set here shortly for Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. Go ahead and run you through the lineup of the first B main. Mark Smith will be on the front row. Smith out of Anthony, New Mexico. The 2SS will start first to his outside. Most recent feature winner here at the RPM Speedway at Texas, Clyde Dunn Jr. out of Rockwall, Texas in the 88 XXX. Row 2 on the inside, Kurt Myers out of Cameron, Wisconsin, the 1M. His outside, Jake O'Neill out of Tucson, Arizona, the 0. Row 3 to the inside will be Jake Gallardo. Gallardo out of Las Cruces, New Mexico in the J17. His outside, Jason Good, Watertown, South Dakota in the 85. Row 4 to the inside will be Hayesville, Kansas racer Tyler Davis in the 65, with Imperial, California's Lance Maury to his outside, Maury in the 19 SB. Row 5 to the inside, Gregory Muirhead out of Maybank, Texas, the 22, will start 9th, with Bart Taylor to his outside, Taylor in the 369 out of Sheridan, Wyoming. Your final starter comes to you from Pine Island, Minnesota, the 51W. That is JT Wasman. That's how they'll line up for Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. So 12 laps, top 5 advance into tonight's Summit Racing Equipment USMTS A main fueled by Casey's. So we will get set for Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. Driver's going to be instructed to pack the top side of the racetrack over in turns 1 and 2. You can see USMTS President Todd Staley down in turn number 1 to direct traffic. Make sure the drivers pack the top side of the racetrack. Try to get this racing surface to widen out as much as possible here throughout the course of the evening. So the 65 of Tyler Davis switching into the backup car. He will have to drop to the tail of this B main. So Tyler Davis back behind the wheel of his Hughes Racing chassis car now. He's switched out of the lethal here tonight. He will have to drop to the back after a car change before this B main. So Davis will start at the back. Awaiting Bart Taylor as well, the 369, the Sheridan, Wyoming racer, scheduled to start toward the back of this first B main. Absent thus far. And it looks like he's rolling out of the racetrack now in turn number 4. So Bart Taylor will join the field here for Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. So here we go. We will get set to go in Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. Again, 12 laps in distance. Top 5 drivers advance to tonight's A main. Mark Smith and the driver that swept the Brian Mize and Ronnie Sigmund Memorial, Clyde Dunn Jr., the outside of road number 1. Kurt Myers, Jake O'Neill on road number 2. Jake Gallardo, Jason Good on row 3. Gregory Muirhead, Lance Maury on row 4. JT Wasmond and Tyler Davis as Bart Taylor had to scratch. Out comes the green, and we're underway here in Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. Mark Smith in early command of your field. Top 5 advance after a dozen laps here as we work on B main number 1. Score lap number 1 to the 2SS. Kurt Myers back in the second place spot. He's raced by Clyde Dunn Jr. Dunn going to come roaring back to the outside, though. Jake O'Neill in that 4th place spot, the current national points leader, kind of mired in a B main here tonight. Runs in that 4th place spot just behind Myers and just ahead of Jake Gallardo. Is that your top 5 transfers? Race going to heat up for the lead, though. Little Freaky's going to go after Mark Smith in the race for the top spot. Smith able to shake him off and hang on. Here comes Jake O'Neill down the inside of Kurt Myers as well. Jake O'Neill ready to go for that 3rd place spot. Just like that, he'll have it off of turn number 2. Myers back to 4th. Put O'Neill in 3rd. 4 laps completed this time by this 12-lap B main. Mark Smith on top. Clyde Dunn Jr. in 2nd. Jake O'Neill, Kurt Myers, and Jake Gallardo the top 5 right now. Jason Good the outside looking in the 85. Maury, Davis, Wasmond, and Muirhead. That's the running order as Clyde Dunn Jr. continues to apply pressure to the 2XX. Dunn to the outside, a race for the lead down the back straightaway. Smith gave up the top line to Clyde Dunn, and Dunn's ready to strike, and now Smith will smack the Uke tire at the bottom of turn 3. Out comes the caution as Mark Smith kisses the Uke tire down in turn number 3. So Mark Smith hard into the Uke tire in turn 3. 5 laps completed. So 5 down here in Real Racing Wheels B main number 1. Clyde Dunn Jr. with the lead now, the 88 XXX. Jake O'Neill elects to go to the inside, your current national points leader. Mired in a B main here tonight. He refires the inside of Kurt Myers on row number 2 as Jake Gallardo and Jason Good now make up your top 5 transfers, 1 lap shy of the halfway point. 5 in, 7 to go as Dunn brings us back up to speed off of turn 4. Good restart for Jake O'Neill. He'll be alongside Clyde Dunn Jr. into turns 1 and 2. Dunn with the momentum up top, though. He'll fend off O'Neill down the back straightaway. Tyler Davis starting to move forward in the 65. We'll see if he can advance the backup car in here this evening. He's got Maury to his outside. Those two race for 6th as Jason Good has the final transfer spot. Clyde Dunn Jr. rolling out in front, though. 7 in, 5 to go this time by for the 88 XXX. O'Neill in 2nd, Myers, Gallardo, and Good still the top 5. Maury, though, trying to race his way in. Works up to the outside of turn number 2, trying to find something to grab a hold of in that 19 SB to go after Good. Good will take the top line away. Now Maury will roll through the middle. Those two side by side for the transfer spot down the front straightaway. Good and Maury go at it for the 5th and final transfer spot. Davis is in the picture as well, and he's looking good along the bottom side of the racetrack in the 65 as they're nearly 3 wide for the final transfer spot. Good still has it as the laps click away. 9 in, 3 to go. All eyes on the battle for the final transfer position. Jason Good, Lance Maury, and Tyler Davis trying to settle that out now with 2 to go. 2 to go. Clyde Dunn Jr. with the lead. Jake O'Neill in 2nd. Kurt Myers in 3rd. Jake Gallardo and Jason Good, but now it's Tyler Davis finds some traction down to the inside to edge ahead of the 85. Put Davis in the show now with 1 lap to go. Tyler Davis working the final lap of Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 1 in the final transfer spot. Meanwhile, Checkers out in front. Clyde Dunn Jr. will pick up the win in the B-Main. So, Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 1 comes under the checkered flag. Tyler Davis grabs the 5th and final transfer spot. Jake Gallardo transfers in at 4th. 3rd goes to Kurt Myers. 2nd to Jake O'Neill. And your B-Main winner, he's out of Rockwall, Texas. Pilots at MB Customs Race Cars, Smiley's Racing Products 88 XXX. How about it for Little Freaky Clyde Dunn Jr., your winner in Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 1. Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 2 will see Denny Geiber on the front row, the Frankston, Texas racer in the 15, alongside Colton Horner, the 56, out of Houston, Texas. Row 2 to the inside, Jason Hughes out of Salina, Oklahoma. Car 12 will start 3rd with Fito Gallardo to his outside, the G17 from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Row 3 to the inside, Tanner Mullins out of Wichita, Kansas, the 02. The Tanner's outside, Zach Vanderbeek out of New Sharon, Iowa, the 33Z. Row 4 to the inside will be Rodney Sanders, the Happy Texan. He'll start 7th and is outside the 49 junior. That is Jake Tim out of Winona, Minnesota. 5th row, the 6-star of Dylan Pike out of Waxahachie, Texas, is outside Dustin Sorensen of the 19 out of Rochester, Minnesota. Brooks Strength appears to be a scratch in the 444. The Raymond, Mississippi racer has not yet made the call. And the caution lights have gone down. We're set for 12 more laps. Top 5 advance. Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 2. So there we go. 12 laps. Top 5 go to the show. Out comes the green, and we're underway. Danny Geiber going to get the jump down into turns 1 and 2. Jason Hughes, Colton Horner race side by side for second here on the opening lap of B-Main number 2. Denny Geiber out in front of your field. Here comes Jason Hughes. He'll motor by the 56 of Colton Horner. Vito Gallardo on the back bumper of those two, as well as Tanner Mullins sits in the 5th and final transfer spot. So Mullins in the final transfer spot as Sanders and Vanderbeek race for 6th. Those two on the outside looking in. Sanders and Vanderbeek not yet in the show, nor is last night's 3rd place finisher Jake Tim. Dustin Sorensen as well. A lot of good cars right now going to be setting out of this one. We'll see who has the provisionals, but nonetheless, going to be some good ones setting here tonight. Denny Geiber cruising out in front of your field. Colton Horner in 2nd. Tanner Mullins along the bottom side of the racetrack is rolled up into 3rd by Jason Hughes as Fito Gallardo has the 5th and final transfer spot. Sanders going to get the drive to his inside, though, and work by Fito down the back straightaway. Sanders trying to save that provisional for another day and race his way in as he goes after Fito Gallardo for 5th down the front straightaway. Sanders had it at the line. Fito comes battling back to the outside, though. Those two battling for the final transfer spot. 6 in, 6 to go. Denny Geiber cruising out in front of your field. It's Geiber, Horner, Mullins, Hughes, and Sanders. Now your top 5 transfers. Fito Gallardo still in contention for the final transfer spot with the 20 of Rodney Sanders. Those two going at it for 5th. Sanders fends him off down the back straightaway. Now Dustin Sorensen will try to get in the mix of the battle for the final transfer spot as well. Sanders with the final transfer spot in hand. Sorensen and Gallardo side by side behind him, as out in front Denny Geiber is looking good. Geiber in the 15, checking out over your field. Colton Horner runs in second, 3.299 seconds behind Geiber. As Mullins, Hughes, and Sanders continue to round out your transfer cars here with 2 to go. White flag displayed out in front of your field. One more lap to go here in Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 2. Ready to move on the final 5 here before we dole out provisionals. Checkers will come to the air off at turn number 4. Denny Geiber dominates B-Main number 2. So your top 5 transfers in the final transfer position. The 20 of Rodney Sanders will advance in. 4th will go to Jason Hughes. 3rd to Tanner Mullins. 2nd to Colton Horner. And your heat race winner out of Frankston, Texas in the Day Motorsports 15, Denny Geiber, your winner of Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 2. So Denny Geiber, Colton Horner, Tanner Mullins, Jason Hughes, and Rodney Sanders, your top 5 transfers out of Real Racing Wheels B-Main number 2. There will now be 2 series provisionals doled out along with potential emergency provisionals tonight to set tonight's $5,000 to win Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A-Main fueled by Casey's. So set to roll into the M&J Electric USRA Tuner A-Main here in the next few moments. Looks like we're waiting on cars to roll from the staging area. In the meantime, here on the Racing Dirt TV and Racing on Texas broadcast, we'll step aside, take a quick break, and be back with A-Mains here from the RPM Speedway.
Weir's Machine has been innovating the Ultra Force load machines and developed the Ultra Force suspension software, which allow you to take your program to the next level. Shop now at ultraforcetech.com.
The USMTS Souvenir Trailer is your one-stop shop for all your USMTS souvenir needs. From jackets to hoodies to t-shirts to can koozies and so much more, the USMTS Souvenir Trailer has it all. The USMTS Souvenir Trailer can be found online at shopusmts.com. See a wide variety of merchandise and accessories to help you get prepared for race day. Ordering is very simple and will even ship right to your doorstep. Visit the USMTS Souvenir Trailer today and get ready for when the best of the USMTS visits your local racetrack.
Zach Vanderbeek here, Dirt Modified Racer. Been using FK rod ends for about 10 years now. Maria and their crew have provided exceptional products for me racing competitively on the USMTS Tour. I choose to put the best parts on my race car, and obviously I choose to put FK rod ends on there. We've had 0 part failures. The durability and the product, you can tell, is second to none. FK rod ends provide strong and durable parts for us so we can stay on the racetrack in some of the worst conditions and keeps us finishing races. I highly recommend their product. If you're looking for a really high quality rod end, go check those guys out, see what they got. They've got multiple options, and their product is awesome.
Proudly made in the USA, champions across the country choose Weir's Machine and Ultra Force to take them to victory lane. Shop now at weirsmachine.com and ultraforcetech.com.
2021 is going to be a great year to rediscover family fun and American freedom. And there's no better place to find all American family entertainment than Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We are host to some of the nation's greatest grassroots motorsports, including late models, sprint cars, pro pulling, drag boats, and more. There's also amazing food and refreshments, attractions, distractions, and merchandise.
For more info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life. American racing started on dirt tracks with tough men in both winged and non-winged sprint cars proving their bravery and skill with every lap. That kind of racing still exists, and you can see it at the 11th annual ASCS War Jesse Hawk and Daniel McMillan Memorial. Grassroots racing at its finest. It all happens September 16th through the 18th, and it's only at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. For tickets and info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com. Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life.
So welcome back here to the RPM Speedway, getting set for a feature action here tonight. M&J Electric USRA Tuners will be the first feature of the evening. Sean Leisure out of Mansfield, Texas, the 67L will be front row on the inside. Daniel Thompson to his outside, the 17T out of Mesquite, Texas. Row 2 on the inside from Kemp, Texas, the 11, that's Jet Hefty, alongside David Thompson out of Mesquite in the 33T. That is how they will line up here for a quick 8-lap A-main for the M&J Electric USRA Tuners. So, furled up green flag displayed to the field by West Goodwin here. We'll get set to go next time around for tonight's M&J Electric USRA Tuner A-main. So here we go, Leisure and Thompson on road number 1, Hefty and Thompson scheduled to be on road number 2. Looks like a little adjustment there in the lineup, but nonetheless, we're going to drop the green flag. So tonight's M&J Electric USRA Tuner A-main off and running, and Sean Leisure is going to jump out to the early command of this one here as we complete lap number 1. So race for the lead begins to take shape. Sean Leisure out in front. He's going to see a challenge out of Daniel Thompson here. Side by side now for the top spot down the front straightaway. New leader at the line. Daniel Thompson going to overhaul Sean Leisure. Leisure trying to cross down to the inside. Reclaim the lead down the back straightaway. Good side-by-side action for the top spot. Here in the M&J Electric USRA Tuners. Leisure now back out in front off of turn number 4. Thompson comes back at him, but Leisure will lead the lap. Great duel out in front of your field. Daniel Thompson down to the inside. Sean Leisure up top, door-to-door off of turn number 2. Laps clicking away in tonight's M&J Electric USRA Tuner A main. They'll race side-by-side here with 2 to go. So 2 laps to go. Sean Leisure on top. Daniel Thompson trying to challenge. They race neck and neck down the back straightaway. This one's going to come down to the final lap. We'll see the white flag wave this time off of turn 4. Leisure with the advantage. Thompson along the inside, door to door with 1 to go. Leisure up the banking there for a moment. Daniel Thompson not quite able to capitalize. Checkers will be in the air off of turn number 4 tonight's M&J Electric USRA Tuner A main winner. Sean Leisure picks up the win. So Sean Leisure picks up the A main win. He will have a visit with Kevin Rogers down at Honeycutt Sand and Gravel Victory Lane after the Tuner feature win here tonight. Get Leisure pulled down into Victory Lane. KR going to present the big check and have a word with tonight's Tuner feature winner.
All right, Bryce, we're down here in the Honeycutt Sand and Gravel Victory Lake. We'll let this young man get unstrapped, catch his breath, and get out, folks. He won the 3rd annual Ronnie Sigmund Memorial on Sunday night. Got some cool hardware there. Had a fun interview. Make some noise as he gets ready to come out of the car tonight. Your M&J Electric USRA Tuner feature winner, Mr. Sean Leisure. Come on over here, Sean. We'll grab a quick word with you here before we send it back up to Bryce and keep the show rolling. So, man, you got this old Tuner rolling pretty good. Impressive display on Sunday, and you come back and back it up. How's it feel to win 2 in a row this week?
Man, 2 in a row, especially with the win that we had last Sunday. I mean, just to come back here to the same track, a track that I'm literally in love with, and get it done again. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better week, in my opinion.
Well, who all helps you get here? I know it's kind of a quick turnaround to get this thing ready to go, but who helps you back home, and who keeps you going week in, week out?
Of course, my mom and dad, they keep pushing me to strive for better, and I can't thank them enough for allowing me to do this. We have Magic Car Motorsports with Caleb and Bondi, who create these machines, L&D Transportation, and TBG Tuned.
All right, folks, one more round of applause for your Tuner feature winner, Mr. Sean Leisure. Bryce, we'll send it back up to you.
Thank you very much, Kevin Rogers. We'll get set to move right on along in our A-mains here tonight. USMTS Modifieds moving to the tail end of the lineup now. Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks next up. So Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stocks will be next up on the docket here this evening. USMTS Modifieds will now be the final feature of the evening. So tonight's lineup, Walter Hamilton will start front row on the inside of tonight's A-main, the 1W out of Dallas, Texas, alongside Michael Bowles, Italy, Texas in the 40. Row 2 on the inside, scheduled to be Maybank, Texas racer John Armstrong, the 99J. Is outside Christopher Watson out of Ennis in the 23W. Final starter also out of Ennis, Texas, James Ryle in the 42. That's how they're scheduled to start in tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A-main. Another reminder, race fans, we invite you to the Arklatex Speedway in Vivian, Louisiana tomorrow night. If you can't make it out to the land of 3 Wide, tune in on Race and Dirt TV or on Race on Texas. They'll have you covered from Arklatex tomorrow as well as Saturday at the Rev. So Saturday at Revolution Park in Monroe, Louisiana. First time ever the USMTS Modifieds will race at Dirt on the Rev. Those next two events covered on Race and Dirt TV as well as Race on Texas. Be an off weekend next week for the USMTS Modifieds before the annual Featherlight Fall Jamboree at the Deer Creek Speedway in Spring Valley, Minnesota. All 3 nights of that covered on Race and Dirt TV as well. Thursday night's event, $3,000 to win and USRA sanctioned. Friday and Saturday, $5,000 to win on Friday, $10,000 to win on Saturday will be USMTS points events. That's the next weekend for the USMTS Modifieds before championship weekend. Over Halloween weekend for the USMTS Modifieds, a 4-race swing through Missouri and Kansas, as well as Oklahoma. Wednesday night, October 26th, the Dallas County Speedway in Urbana, Missouri. The following night, Tri-State Speedway in Pensacola, Oklahoma. Friday, October 29th, will be at the Lakeside Speedway in Kansas City. Then we'll wrap up the 2021 season at the 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas on Saturday, October 30th. In championship weekend for the USMTS Modifieds. You can catch the full schedule at usmts.com or on the My Race Pass app. But that is the lineup for the rest of 2021 for the Summit Racing Equipment United States Modified Touring Series fueled by Casey's. Send the byline surveying USRA factory stocks down the lineup, shoot here in front of the grandstands. We'll get set for tonight's factory stock A main. So here we go. Furled up green flag going to be displayed to the field down the front straightaway. The byline surveying USRA factory stock is going to go green next time in turn 4. Walter Hamilton, Michael Bowles on row 1. John Armstrong, Christopher Watson on row 2, and James Ryle. That will be your lineup for tonight's A main. Set to go this time in turn number 4 for the byline surveying USRA factory stocks. Green flag in the air, Walter Hamilton and Michael Bowles racing side by side out in front. Bowles, your heat race winner earlier tonight. He will lead the opening circuit here in the A main as well. Bowles rolling to the top side of the racetrack. Hamilton follows in the number 2 spot. Christopher Watson. It's going to be the top 3 with Armstrong and Ryle rounding out the field. Bowles picking up where he left off in the heat race with the lead out in front at the 40. To the early advantage over defending USRA factory stock national champion Walter Hamilton. Hamilton working in that second place spot. Watson still in third. Walter Hamilton beginning to close the back bumper. The 40 of Michael Bowles. Could see a race for the lead take shape here in the next few laps of this one. Bowles with the lead. Now Hamilton going to dive down to the inside. Race for the lead could come sooner than the next couple laps as Hamilton's now all over the back bumper of Michael Bowles in the race for the top spot. Hamilton back through the middle, down the back straightaway. Bowles able to shake him off, at least for time being. 6 in, 6 to go, this time by halfway through tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. Bowles and Hamilton still 1-2. Christopher Watson in third, John Armstrong and James Ryle. That's the field as we work the second half of tonight's Factory Stock A main. Bowles cruising out in front, trying to hang on over Walter Hamilton. Two laps to go in tonight's Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. Michael Bowles, Walter Hamilton, Christopher Watson, John Armstrong, James Ryle. Still the running order this one here. One more lap to go. So final lap here in the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. Bowles going to hit his marks along the top side of the racetrack to the checkers. Michael Bowles will pick up the A main win. So there you have it. Christopher Watson rounds out tonight's podium. Watson will finish in third. Second will go to Walter Hamilton in the 1W, and your winner out of turn number 4, the driver from Italy, Texas, the 40 of Michael Bowles, picks up the Byline Surveying USRA Factory Stock A main. We'll send it down trackside as Kevin Rogers will have a word with Bowles after his feature win here tonight.
Folks making his way out of his car right now. Give it up for your Byline Survey and USRA Factory Stock feature winner, Mr. Michael Bowles. Michael, we'll grab a quick word with you here, man. Thanks for coming out on a Thursday night and racing with us. But, you know, not a whole lot of cars, but track was pretty good. Some pretty good hitters. How was it for you this evening?
Man, it was a good track. I've been trying to get this done for a long time. Wish more cars were here, but it was a good track, man.
Well, good deal. I know it takes a small army to get here week in, week out, especially after the quick turnaround and all that good stuff over the weekend. Who helps you get here week in, week out?
Man, my whole family does. That's pretty much it.
And, folks, he's not lying. It seems like every time I look up, there's about 47 of y'all's cars in the pits, it seems like. So that's a good deal to have family involved. So we appreciate you being here. We'll get a few pictures with you. But, race fans, give it up for your Factory Stock feature winner tonight, Mr. Michael Bowles. Bryce, back up to you, bud.
Thank you very much, KR. Getting set now for the Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod A main. Go ahead and run you through the lineup of this one. Kevin Simpson will be front row on the inside, the 561 out of Flint, Texas. His outside scheduled to have the 2JT. That's Justin Vaughn out of Dallas. Row number 2 to the inside, Cody Smith out of Kaufman, Texas, a 25C. Alongside the V8 of Robert Vetter out of Wolf City, Texas in the V8. Row 3 on the inside, Corey Williams out of Slayton, Texas, the 511, scheduled to start 5th, alongside Albert McCall Jr. from here in Crandall in the 7M. Row 4 on the inside, John White, the 22J out of Red Oak, Texas, alongside Walter Hamilton in the 07G out of Dallas. Your final 2 starters scheduled to be Cody Blanton, the 218 out of Lone Oak, Texas, alongside Stephen Ashcraft out of 40 in the 56. So run back through that lineup after the redraw now. Correction to the lineup there. Albert McCall Jr. will start front row on the inside, the 7M out of Crandall. So Albert McCall front row inside. Again, this lineup will now reflect the redraw. Walter Hamilton front row on the outside in the 07G. Row 2 on the inside, Cody Smith in the 25C alongside Corey Williams in the 511. Row 3 to the inside, Justin Vaughn, the 2JT, alongside John White in the 22J. Row 4 on the inside, Kevin Simpson, the 561, alongside Robert Vetter in the V8. And your final two starters will be the 218 of Cody Blanton and Stephen Ashcraft in the 56. Again, that lineup there reflecting the redraw. So Albert McCall Jr. and Walter Hamilton will make up row number 1. Smith and Williams, row 2. Vaughn and White, row 3. Simpson and Vetter, row 4. And Blanton and Ashcraft. That is the lineup. Tonight's 15 lap Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod A main. So there we go. Now the caution lights will go down as we get the 25C of Cody Smith in line just ahead of the 2JT of Justin Vaughn, their second row on the inside. The field a line down the front straightaway and ready to go this time in turn 4. McCall, Hamilton, row 1. Smith, Williams, row 2. Vaughn, White, row 3. Simpson, Vetter, row 4. Blanton and Ashcraft. That's how they line up for tonight's Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod A main. Out to the green, Walter Hamilton, the runner-up in tonight's factory stock A main. He's going to jump atop the heap here on lap number 1. 07G Hamilton will lead the opening circuit. Cody Smith quickly into second by Albert McCall Jr. So Smith the second, drop McCall to third. John White beginning to make his way forward as well as Cody Smith drops off the pace there for a moment. They're going to stack up behind him. McCall up to the outside. Vaughn through the middle. 22 of John White trying to make his way through. So White trying to make his way through the field as well as Corey Williams. As John White will jump up into third. Something looks amiss on Cody Smith's 25C. Looks like he's just hanging on now as he's dropped into fourth. Now he'll drop to fifth as the 511 of Corey Williams will race by the 25C. So Smith now back into fifth, is out in front. Walter Hamilton is stretching the legs on the 07G machine. Hamilton with a sizable lead over second place running McCall. John White up into the top 3 now as he races by Corey Williams. Williams into fourth as Cody Smith will call it quits now in the 25C. Again, something looked amiss for several laps on the 25C of Smith's machine. Now he'll pull down in the infield. His night will come to a close early as Walter Hamilton sets a scalding pace out in front of your field. It's Hamilton, McCall, White, Williams. That's the top 4. Now Kevin Simpson, the heat race win here earlier tonight. He's now worked his way into the top 5, so Simpson now into 5th. A pretty good race there for the 5th place spot as Justin Vaughn challenges back down to the inside of Simpson down the back straightaway. He'll reclaim that spot into. Got a spinner down in turns 3 and 4. The 218 of Cody Blanton goes around in 3 and 4. And will come under the caution flag. So caution out on the racetrack at the midway point of this one. 8 in, 7 to go. The 218 of Cody Blanton goes around to the middle of turns 3 and 4 and will slow the field down. That will erase Walter Hamilton's big lead out in front of your field. Hamilton had pretty well checked out on the field before the caution flag. So we'll see if Hamilton can dominate the second half of this one the same way he has the first half. John White and Albert McCall Jr. refiring from row number 2 as Justin Vaughn and Corey Williams make up your top 5 runners. Caution lights are out, 8 in, 7 to go in tonight's Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod A main. So here we go, back to green, halfway through tonight's Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod A main. Walter Hamilton dominating the first half of this one, trying to do the same in the second half. Hamilton along the top side of the racetrack, pretty well picking up where he left off before the caution flag. Albert McCall Jr. in second, and John White up into the top 3. Now Corey Williams, the West Texas racer, up into the 4th place spot. Race for 5th still contested between Justin Vaughn and Kevin Simpson. Simpson has it at the line, so Simpson back into 5th by Justin Vaughn. Walter Hamilton still strong out in front of your field, just under a half a straightaway advantage over the 7M of Albert McCall Jr. 22 of John White working in 3rd. Corey Williams, Kevin Simpson still the top 5. Two to go in tonight's Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Mod A main. Ready to wrap it up here tonight at the RPM Speedway for the Limited Mods. Walter Hamilton on a runaway. We'll see the white flag come to the air out of turn number 4. One more lap to go. Checkered flag comes in the air out of turn number 4. Walter Hamilton wins tonight's Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Modified A main. Rest of the field going to cross under the checkered flag. Top 3 finishers, John White on the final step of the podium. White finishes 3rd. Second goes to Albert McCall Jr. And your feature winner will make his way to Honeycutt Sand and Gravel Victory Lane, the 07G out of Dallas. How about it for Walter Hamilton?
Bryce making our way back down to Honeycutt Sand and Gravel Victory Lane. You see the gentleman in the black shirt. That's actually the car owner, Bobby Ortega. He brought by. All this car has been needing was a driver. So, ladies and gentlemen, make welcome your Ken Parker Services USRA Limited Modified feature winner, Mr. Walter Hamilton. Walter, slide over here. I know we talked a bunch over the weekend, but we'll talk to you again, man. So, how hard is it making the transition from the factory to the limited, much less to a car that you hadn't got many laps in?
Sport mod, we go fast again. It's not slow and easy with the factory stock. Sport mod, we got a tire, and Bobby O has a pretty good little hot rod.
Well, besides Bobby O, I know he obviously going to thank him as your car owner. Who else with this car and with your other program where you can actually have the capability to run 2 cars a night?
Man, really, this is Bobby O's deal. He just put it in there, said, hey, man, I've been kind of struggling with it a little bit. Give me an idea, drive it a few nights, and we've had a really good car the first 2 nights. I just didn't show up for it.
Well, hey, I know we still got the rest of the weekend to go. Where's Walter Hamilton going to be racing this Friday and Saturday night?
Friday, we ain't going nowhere. Saturday, we'll be in Super Bowl.
All right, folks, make a good warm welcome here, and congratulations for your Ken Parker Service USR Modified feature, Walter Hamilton.
So tonight's Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A-Main fueled by Casey's beginning to take shape in the staging lane. We'll run you quickly here in the next few moments through the lineup of the first 13 drivers as we will do a special presentation ahead of tonight's Summit Racing Equipment A-Main. So again, we'll start running through the lineup of the first 13 drivers. Jason Ingalls is tonight's CBISMA Graphics Pole Award winner. Jason Ingalls out of Longview, Texas in the 12 will start front row on the inside. And his outside, the driver that sits second in the national point standings, Woodward, Oklahoma's Derek Ramirez, the 4R, will start to the outside of row number 1. Row 2 on the inside, Fayetteville, Arkansas's Tyler Wolf, the 4W, starts third with Lucas Schott to his outside, the 69 out of Chatfield, Minnesota. Row 3 on the inside, it'll be Dan Ebert. Ebert out of Lakeshore, Minnesota, the 60, alongside Nathan Smith, the 88 from Anthony, New Mexico. Row number 4 to the inside, Terry Phillips out of Springfield, Missouri, the 75, will start 7th with Carlos Amata Jr., the 65X out of El Paso, Texas, starting 8th. Row 5 to the inside, the 8C, that's Bobby Malkus, now to Maypearl, Texas. And his outside will find Brandon Gibbons in the 2G out of Wichita, Kansas. Your 11th starter will be Chris Clark, the 8C out of Jackson, Wyoming, alongside Chris Kratzer out of Wichita, Kansas in the 19R. And your 13th starter tonight, the 88 XXX of Clyde Dunn Jr. Again, your top 13 qualifiers here tonight as we will get set for, again, a special presentation ahead of tonight's Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A-Main. So once again, race fans, we want to welcome everybody to the RPM Speedway for the inaugural USMTS Texas SummerSlam presented by Casey's. Since 1999, the USMTS has been proud to present our 4-wide parade lap featuring the main event drivers carrying the American flag with Lee Greenwood singing the iconic God Bless the USA. Tonight, the USMTS and RPM Speedway we're going to do something special, and we invite all the great Americans with us to be a part of this one-of-a-kind dedication. The following 13 names are not ones that most of us here will recognize, but they are incredible people deserving of our gratitude. Sergeant Johanny Rosario Picardo, age 25, of Lawrence, Massachusetts. Sergeant Nicole G., age 23, of Sacramento, California. Staff Sergeant Darren Hoover, age 31, of Salt Lake City, Utah. Corporal Hunter Lopez, age 22, of Indio, California. Corporal Dagan Page, age 23, of Omaha, Nebraska. Corporal Humberto Sanchez, age 22, of Logansport, Indiana. Lance Corporal David Espinoza, age 20, of Rio Bravo, Texas. Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, age 20, of St. Charles, Missouri. Lance Corporal Riley McCollum, age 20, of Jackson, Wyoming. Lance Corporal Dylan Marola, age 20, of Rancho Cucamonga, California. Lance Corporal Kareem Naku, age 20, of Norco, California. Navy Corpsman Maxton Soviak, age 22, of Berlin Heights, Ohio. Staff Sergeant Ryan Knaus, age 23, of Corryton, Tennessee. These 13 brave soldiers lost their lives in Afghanistan doing their duty and fighting for our liberties. The USMTS and RPM Speedway want to take a special moment and thank these incredible individuals for doing their hard job of keeping America the land of the free and the home of the brave. Tonight we race because all gave some and some gave all.
I'm just trying to be a father, raise a daughter and a son, be a lover to their mother, everything to everyone, up and at 'em bright and early, I'm all business in my suit. Yeah, I'm dressed up for success, from my head down to my boots. I don't do it for the money, there's bills that I can't pay. I don't do it for the glory, I just do it anyway. Providing for our futures, my responsibility. Yeah, I'm real good under pressure, being all that I can be. I can't call in sick on Mondays when the weekend's been too strong. I just work straight through the holidays, sometimes all night long. You can bet that I stand ready when the wolf growls at the door. Hey, I'm solid, hey, I'm steady, hey, I'm true down to the core. And I will always do my duty, no matter what the price. I've counted up the cost, I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you, but if dying's asking me, I'll bear that cross with honor, 'cause freedom don't come free. I'm an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front lines, sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American soldier. Yeah, an American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front line, so sleep in peace tonight. American soldier, I'm an American, an American, an American soldier.
So thank you, race fans, for joining us in that tribute to the 13 fallen soldiers in Afghanistan. With that, we'll run you through the next part of the starting lineup here this evening. Outside of the seventh row will be Colton Horner, the 56 out of Houston, Texas. Row 8 on the inside, Jake O'Neill out of Tucson, Arizona. And the 0 is outside the 0-2. That is Tanner Mullins out of Wichita, Kansas. Row number 9 to the inside, the 1M, Kurt Myers out of Cameron, Wisconsin, alongside Jason Hughes in the 12 out of Salina, Oklahoma. Row 10, it's Jake Gallardo, the J17 out of Las Cruces, New Mexico, alongside Rodney Sanders, the 20 out of Happy, Texas. Row 11, Tyler Davis out of Hayesville, Kansas, the 65, alongside Rochester, Minnesota's Dustin Swords to the 19. Row 12, Lance Maury out of Imperial, California, the 19 SB, alongside Jason Good In the 85 from Watertown, South Dakota, the 33Z is Zach Vanderbeek out of New Sharon, Iowa. Your 25 starters here tonight at RPM Speedway.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
So, race fans, if you're not on your feet, it is time to get there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the most beautiful sight in dirt ride at the RPM Speedway.
And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
So thank you, great race fans, once again for joining us there in the four wide salute. Always one of the most awesome sights in all of motorsports. A great privilege to do the tribute to the 13 fallen soldiers, and a great privilege to do that four wide salute as well as we honor the greatest nation on earth. Again, we appreciate you being a part of that here tonight with us at RPM Speedway. God bless the USA indeed, as we get set here tonight for the 5,000 to win 40-lap Summit Race Equipment US MTS Modified A-Main, fueled by Casey's. Jason Ingalls out of Longview, Texas, the CBISMA Graphics Pole Award winner tonight. Ingalls on the pole alongside the driver that has worn the Risco Industries points leader spoiler several nights in 2021. Comes into the night trailing Jake O'Neill by 15 points, but Derek Ramirez will start to the outside of the front row. Tyler Wolf and Lucas Schott on row number 2. Dan Ebert, Nathan Smith on row 3. Terry Phillips and Carlos Amata Jr. The front 4 rows here tonight at RPM Speedway as the caution lights go down. Pace vehicle will exit down into the infield. And we will get set for 40 laps of USMTS modified action here tonight at RPM. Out comes the green flag here at RPM Speedway, 40 times around the bull ring here in North Texas. Nearly 3 wide for the number 2 spot out of the gate. Tyler Wolf showing the nose down to the inside of pole sitter Jason Ingalls as Lucas Schott will quickly grab the second place spot here on lap number 1. Cool hand Luke to the runner-up spot on the opening circuit as Derek Ramirez assumes the lead out in front. Derek Ramirez to the top side, to the top spot. Lap number 2 in the books for your leader. Lucas Schott in second. Tyler Wolf, Jason Ingalls in a pretty good race for the third position. Nathan Smith right now rounding out the top 5 runners. The field is 2 and 3 wide. All throughout the pack right now. Derek Ramirez out to the initial lead in this one. The Boom Test Well Service 4R looking good here in the early stages of tonight's A-Main. Lucas Schott in the second place spot. Ingalls, Wolf, and Smith still the top 5. Carlos Amata Jr. just outside of those top 5. He runs in the 6th place spot. Terry Phillips and Dan Ebert racing for 7th, just ahead of Corey Crapser as Rodney Sanders rounds out the early top 10 from deep in the field. The final transfer in a B-Main, Rodney started 20th. He's already into the top 10, so I would keep an eye on the 20 as he is making hay early in this one. 10 positions and 5 laps for the Rocket. That's a little bit deeper in the pack as out in front. Derek Ramirez has about a 1.5-second lead over Lucas Schott. He'll begin approaching the back of the pack soon in this one as Zach Vanderbeek exits off into the infield as we complete lap 7. 7 laps down, Vanderbeek into the infield and out of the race. Derek Ramirez going to be approaching the back markers in this one very shortly. 8 laps completed this time around. You see the back half of the field now, less than a half a straightaway behind him as he races down into turns 1 and 2. Ramirez leads, 2nd is Schott, 3rd is Ingalls, 4th is Wolf. Nathan Smith, that's the top 5. Carlos Amata Jr. in 6th. 7th is Terry Phillips. 8th is Dan Ebert. Rodney Sanders up another spot into 9th. Down to the inside of Ebert, challenging for 8th as well. Down the front straightaway, Sanders advancing some more spots in this one as Chris Kratzer rounds out your top 10 runners. So Kratzer rounds out the top 10 as Derek Ramirez completes lap number 10. First quarter of this one down, and now Ramirez is on the back bumper of lap traffic into turns 3 and 4. Ramirez working behind the 19 SB of Lance Maury and the 8C of Chris Clark. So Ramirez with some lap traffic to deal with here, working on lap number 12. 1.727 second lead last time around for Ramirez. He's had a little bit of trouble with the first 2 lapped cars, though, and that is going to shrink significantly. 0.946 seconds the advantage for Ramirez last time around as Maury and Clark race side by side right in front of your leader. Things tightening up there as Schott is closing in on the back bumper of the 4R, now down to a 1/2 second lead for Ramirez. Meanwhile, Tyler Wolf throws the slide job for 3rd on Ingalls. Ingalls ready for it, crosses over the 4W down the back straightaway. So Jason Ingalls back into 3rd by Tyler Wolf. Wolf going to try the inside once again on the 12 of Ingalls to no avail, though. Ingalls will hang on to the 3rd place spot. Derek Ramirez trying to pick through lap traffic. Just about a second ahead of your runner-up now, 0.820 seconds. The advantage for the 4R there on lap number 15. 15 laps completed. Ramirez able to stretch the lead back out now as he's cleared by the lapped traffic of Chris Clark. He'll still have to deal with Lance Maury here in the next couple of laps as well. Lucas Schott running in second, Jason Ingalls in third. Fourth is Tyler Wolf. Fifth is Nathan Smith. Carlos Amata Jr. in sixth. Seventh is Terry Phillips. Eighth is Dan Ebert. Ninth is Rodney Sanders. And Chris Kratzer rounds out your top 10. So Kratzer still taking care of the top 10 as Derek Ramirez tries to grow the lead. 1.121 seconds last time around. Will shrink 0.3 though. 0.871 seconds as Ramirez tries to race by the 19 SB of Lance Maury. So Ramirez trying to work by Maury. Meanwhile, race for third. Heats back up off of turn number 4. Wolf and Ingalls door to door. A little bit of contact between the 4W and the 12. In that race for third, Wolf will slide him, but Ingalls will turn it back underneath once again in the race for third. Those two absolutely go at it for third as Derek Ramirez is into thicker lap traffic now. He'll work by Maury here at the halfway point. 20 in, 20 to go. Lance Maury between your top two, as Ramirez will now have to work on the lap cars of Davis and Good. Schott staying within reach of your leader. Now Jason Ingalls all over the back bumper of Schott as well. So Ingalls within reach of Schott through lap traffic here. Tyler Wolf still right there with the 12 though. He'll dive deep into turns 3 and 4 and throw another haymaker slider right across the nose of the 12 of Ingalls. Ingalls turns it back underneath. Those two continue to put on a show for the third place spot. This time around turn number 2, it looks like Wolf has the position. Couple of clicks past the halfway point now will complete lap number 23. Ramirez, your leader at lap 23, 1.196 seconds ahead of Lucas Schott, who's seeing pressure now to Tyler Wolf. Wolf's got a fast race car. He'll throw the slide job on Lucas Schott for second. Tyler Wolf to second by Lucas Schott. Keep an eye on the 4W. Just under a second and a half behind the 4R of Ramirez, and there's 3 lap cars between the top two. Davis, Maury, and Good all between the 4R of Ramirez and the 4W of Wolf. Wolf will work by Jason Good with no issues at the line. Just over a second and a half back from the 4R of Derek Ramirez, who pretty much has a clear track in front of him, at least for the next few laps, as Kurt Myers is 3 to 4 car lengths ahead of your leader. Wolf having a little trouble through lap traffic. His disadvantage now will grow to 2.160 seconds. So Wolf into the lap car as well, into Tyler Wolf there through lap traffic. It's the 4W of Tyler Wolf. And Derek Ramirez will grow the lead now to over 2.5 seconds. So lap traffic now playing into favor of the 4R of Derek Ramirez. Tyler Wolf in second, Lucas Schott in third, Jason Ingalls in fourth, Nathan Smith holds up in the 5th place spot. 6th is Amata, 7th is Phillips, 8th is Ebert, 9th is Sanders as Chris Kratzer continues to round out your top 10 runners, working the final dozen laps now, this time by 29 in and 11 to go. 29 in, 11 remain. Derek Ramirez with a 2-second lead over Tyler Wolf. Wolf has trimmed a half a second off of it. He's going to try to slide through the lap cars. Slides by Kurt Myers and nearly into the side of the 8C of Chris Clark. That's going to cost him some track position there, though, about a half a second as he drops back to 2.612 seconds behind the 4R of Ramirez. 30 in and 10 to go that time by for the 4R of Ramirez. Kurt Myers jammed up in the lap traffic. There is the 69 of Lucas Schott. Works by the 1M through lap traffic. These guys are top, bottom, all over the race surface right now, racing for position behind the lap cars. Carlos Amata Jr. is going to race by Nathan Smith into the top 5. Look out, Nathan Smith bobbles down the front straightaway in front of the 20 of Sanders. Things got jammed up there as Amata was leaning on the 88 of Smith as they were working around one another. You've got Ingalls sliding across the nose of the lap car as well. A lot happening as the top and bottom lines really come together there in turn number 4. Derek Ramirez with the lead. Tyler Wolf in second. Lucas Schott in third. Jason Ingles in fourth. Carlos Amata Jr. into the top 5 as we got trouble down in turns 1 and 2. So, hearing that contact was made between the 19R of Chris Kratzer and the 20 of Rodney Sanders, and the 19R of Kratzer will be credited with the caution, so the 20 of Sanders will keep his position on the racetrack, but the 88 XXX of Dunn and the 2G of Givens will get their spots back, with the 19R of Kratzer having to go to the back there for contact on the 20 of Sanders. So with 34 in and 6 to go, the first caution flag of the A main comes out for the 19R and the 20. And the 20 of Sanders, if he's able to rejoin here, will keep his spot in the 7th position behind Nathan Smith. Nathan Smith and Sanders kind of came together as well off of turn number 4 a couple laps ago. The bottom lines and the top lines really came together on exit turn number 4 there for a few laps in lapped traffic. And those two got together for a moment. So if Sanders is able to rejoin, he'll refire in 7th. He started 20th on the grid in car 20. Ebert, Phillips, and now Clyde Dunn Jr. making up the top 10 with just 6 laps to go here at RPM Speedway. So Derek Ramirez, he won here on night number 2 at the RPM Speedway, has a couple of feature wins here in Crandall, Texas. 4 wins this season for the driver out of Woodward, Oklahoma, who's trying to reclaim the points lead from Jake O'Neill, who right now is scored in the 12th place spot. So it would be a great points night for the 4R of Ramirez if things stand this way through the remainder of the A main. Tyler Wolf has been quick as well. He had some trouble in lap traffic. He was trying to slide through those lapped cars, really scrub some speed in that 4W, so we'll see if clean air is favorable to the 4W of Tyler Wolf. Lucas Schott scored in the 3rd place spot. Jason Ingles and Carlos Amata Jr. make up the top 5. Sanders off on the hook, so he will not be able to rejoin the field. Tough break for the driver that charged from 20th to 7th ahead of that caution after contact with a 19R of Chris Kratzer. So Sanders off on the hook. That means Smith will be in 6th, 7th will be Ebert, 8th will be Phillips, 9th will now be Clyde Dunn Jr. And Tanner Mullins will round out the top 10 with just 6 laps remaining here at the RPM Speedway. So officials working on the lineup. Hearing the lineup is now good. The 4W of Tyler Wolf will have the all-important choice of line on row number 2. Likewise, even position cars will have that option as well per USMTS rules. So Wolf with the choice in or out. Ingles will get to do the same in that 4th place position. And we'll work to get the field realigned here with 34 in and 6 to go. So Tyler Wolf will go to the outside on this restart again. Wolf has been struggling in lap traffic. We'll see if this restart will give the Lobo Racing 4W of Tyler Wolf a shot at this one. Lucas Schott still riding in 3rd. Ingles elects to go to the inside on the restart. That puts Amata outside of the 2nd double file row behind your leader, the 4R of Ramirez. Appears to be some fluid to run through as well down in turns 3 and 4 before we get back going. In tonight's Summit Racing Equipment USMTS Modified A Main, fueled by Casey's. Night 2 of 4 this weekend for the Stars and Cars of the USMTS. Tomorrow, on to the Arklatex Speedway in Vivian, Louisiana. But 6 laps of business to take care of here tonight in Crandall, Texas. Lights are going to go out down the front straightaway. There we go. Caution lights are down. A 6-lap shootout to decide it here tonight at the RPM Speedway. 34 laps, caution free. First caution comes out with 6 to go after Chris Kratzer and Rodney Sanders made contact. And here we go. Lights are out. Tighten them up down the back straightaway. 34 in, 6 remain, and we are back green here at RPM Speedway. Lucas Schott trying to hang with Derek Ramirez on this restart. Tyler Wolf right there as well. Lucas Schott may have something in the tank, but Wolf will come roaring back to the outside. 5 laps to go this time by Tyler Wolf. On a mission right now. See if he can challenge Derek Ramirez in the final 4.5 circuits now. Off of turn number 4, 34 in and 6 to go. Excuse me, 36 in and 4 to go. 36 in, 4 to go that time around. Ramirez, Wolf, Schott, Amata. And now Tanner Mullins into the top 5. Three to go that time by Wolf. Trailing by 0.790 seconds. Has not been able to do anything since that restart. 2 to go this time by for Derek Ramirez. Kurt Myers off here on the final lap of this one. Will lose the Cameron, Wisconsin racer here with 1 to go. White flag in the air for the 4R of Derek Ramirez. Down the back straightaway for the final time. He'll hit his marks in turns 3 and 4. Win number 5 on the season is 19 of his career. Derek Ramirez wins at RPM Speedway. Checkered out over the field before we head to USMTS Victory Lane to talk to the top 4. We'll run down the top 10. Clyde Dunn Jr. crosses in 10th, 9th to Jason Ingalls, 8th to Jake O'Neill, 7th Dan Ebert, 6th to Nathan Smith. Tanner Mullins rounded out the top 5 with Carlos Amata Jr. in 4th. Lucas Schott in 3rd, 2nd to Tyler Wolf, and your feature winner for the 5th time this season, the Boom Test Well Service 4R of Derek Ramirez picks up the win. So he will get set to climb for the Boom Test Well Service, raw truck wash, Cornet Lightning powered. Hughes Racing Chassis 4R, McCartney Welding Services, S&S Fishing and Rental. Also alongside the Ramirez Motorsports 4R. Race fans, Derek Ramirez wins tonight at RPM Speedway. We will get Derek out in front of this 4R car after his 5th win of the season, man. Just tell it, what is this place? You seem to get around RPM very well.
I guess our cars do, because I think Shepard's won 2 here, and I've won 4 in the last 7 races, I think. So we just like this place. I told KR I think I'll just build a shop over here off the backside of the pits, and we'll just come here every weekend.
Take us through the lap traffic through the midway point of that one.
Yeah, it's a little harder to race them nowadays because Todd got rid of the layover flag, but I think it makes the racing better. But it's they don't know who you are, and me and Lance got together back there on the back straightaway. I thought, oh, I hope that doesn't cut my tire, but you got to race them as hard as you can because you never know who's coming behind you. And this track was up on the wheel. I was a little tired.
34 laps caution free, then the caution there. Take us through that last restart.
I wish it wouldn't have happened. No, it's hard to get your rhythm, and when you have them restarts, you worry about somebody trying to go in there and slide you. And so I kind of tried to block the bottom line there, but I saw him down there, and I figured if I get my momentum back up on the top, that nobody was going to beat me there. But I got to give a shout out to Mike Dillard. He's from here. He's in the hospital battling COVID, and we're really thinking about him. And he's got one of our cars he bought from us last year, and get better, buddy.
Boy, a night and day difference from last night at 81 Speedway. Big trouble over there when the points are this close. I know it's good to turn it around that quick.
Yeah, that's for sure. I was a little dejected after last night, but that stuff happens. The race before, Jake's leading the whole thing and gets a flat with 9 to go. So, if we get all the bad luck out of the way here, we'll have a heck of a points race till the end.
There he is. Derek Ramirez wins the night at RPM. We will talk to Tyler Wolf in this one. Tyler, you seemed there for several laps, really have your hands full in lap traffic, and then the caution comes out. Did you think you were going to have anything late?
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was kind of, lap traffic was going to make it interesting, and nothing like sliding lap cars to try to get up there to them, but I was going to try to leave it all on the track. The Ramirez guys did a good job this weekend. They've been pretty quick, and definitely was a rabbit out front, and got to thank all the people that helped me, all my sponsors, MB Custom, Jimmy Mars, all the guys back there, my mom and dad that's at home, my wife and kids. I have a lot of people behind me here to help me. I got a helper, Weston, that's been doing super this weekend, keeping us up close to the front. So hopefully a little more hard work tonight, and we'll probably have a chance at it tomorrow.
That's Tyler Wolf, tonight's runner-up. Talked to Lucas Schott, who finished third here tonight. Looked to be in contention, had something that it looked like on the restart there for a moment. Just take us through the last part of that race.
Yeah, I just gave it all I had on the bottom there. Just had to be really slow and smooth on the bottom. I knew I had one chance to get him, and just going side by side on the backstretch, and he just had more momentum, and I didn't have a good enough slider to capitalize. But all in all, good run, and hopefully we can keep going.
That's Lucas Schott, tonight's third-place finisher. We'll slide down here as well and talk to Carlos Amata Jr., who finished in the fourth-place spot tonight. Action got tight there in lap traffic, especially coming off of turn number 4. That seemed to be where you were able to pick up a couple spots and land in the top 5.
Yeah, I sure was. It did get tight. I got into Nathan there going through lap traffic, so I got to apologize to him for that later. But, yeah, we're in a good car. I don't know, it just seems like we need a little bit more forward here to catch these MBs when they finish in front of us. But yeah, we were pretty good tonight, and I love this place, so I can't complain.
There he is. Carlos Amata Jr. brings it home in fourth here tonight. That will do it from USMTS Victory Lane. That will do it from tonight here at RPM Speedway of Texas as well. On behalf of USMTS, Kevin Rogers, Kevin Sestair here at RPM Speedway, all the crew at Race and Dirt TV as well as Race on Texas. Thank you so very much for joining us here tonight. We hope to see you tomorrow at Arklatex Speedway. Good night and God bless.
2021 is going to be a great year to rediscover family fun and American freedom. And there's no better place to find all American family entertainment than Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We are host to some of the nation's greatest grassroots motorsports, including late models, sprint cars, pro pulling, drag boats, and more. There's also amazing food and refreshments, attractions, distractions, and merchandise.
For more info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life. American racing started on dirt tracks with tough men in both winged and non-winged sprint cars proving their bravery and skill with every lap. That kind of racing still exists, and you can see it at the 11th annual ASCS War Jesse Hawk and Daniel McMillan Memorial. Grassroots racing at its finest. It all happens September 16th through the 18th, and it's only at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri.
For tickets and info, visit lucasoilspeedway.com.
Lucas Oil Speedway, where motorsports come to life.